is Mr. Ishan Tulsian, partner of R.Tulsian and Company. Madam Anima Pandey, you all know. My colleague from industry, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to everyone. I'm extremely delighted to take this opportunity to welcome you all at the today awareness season of GST recent changes and the way to handle scrutiny and audit. I would like to express my sincere thanks to Mr. Ishan Tulsian. And Mr. Tulsian is practicing as a fellow chartered accountant and is an expert in the area of GST. He is a qualified and authorized enrolled agent, a federally authorized practitioner who is empowered by the USA Department of Treasury. He represents his client on many matters including audit, tax refunds, appeals, and the Internal Revenue Services. It's shortly named as IRS USA in USA. Yeah, he is also registered valuer, a category of securities of financial assets and Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. He holds a Master of Science in Applied Finance from Singapore Management University and is a qualified company secretary and a postgraduate in LLB from Vidyasagar University. He is a second rank holder AIR2 in the Diploma in Information System Audit from ICAI, holds diploma in the International Taxation from ICAI and is graduate in BCom Honours from St. James College, Calcutta. He has more than 15 years experience in GST and income tax refunds and consultancy, litigation, compliances, USA tax planning and structuring, international taxation and valuation in business. Further, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Mr. Tulsian for extending his support to shape the event successfully. Friends, as you may be aware that there are several amendments that have happened in GST impacting exporters in the last 6 to 8 months. In today's season, Mr. Tulsian will enlighten us on the topics like GST amendments impacting exporters and importers, burning listing issues raised to GST scrutiny and audit impacting exporters and importers, walkthrough analysis of practical real-life notices and case studies of GST issues and solutions along with landmark court judgments, analysis of how to reply to notices received from the respect of GST scrutiny and departmental audit. I request you all to take the program very interactive and seek clarification on your queries during the question and answer season. I am sure you will all have a productive and fruitful discussion today.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Tulsian, yeah, please.
I would like to express my gratitude.
You can have your seat and
I would like to express my gratitude to Vinod Kumar Sardarji, the Deputy Regional Chairman, for giving me so much respect and for such a warm welcome and invitation and for such a generous introduction. I would like to express my gratitude to Anima Pandey ji, madam, and to Kaushik sir, both of them, for having me here to discuss the topics for today. As I mentioned, that we have several topics to cover. Firstly being the recent amendments which are affecting our community, which is exporter community, importer community. Secondly, we are going to move ahead discussing the burning issues and how to deal with those issues which come up repetitively affecting our community, the exporter community, in GST scrutiny proceedings as well as GST departmental audits, right? So thank you everyone for taking out time today, and I welcome you to please be interactive. Please ask questions whenever you have any questions, and we will have a dedicated question and answer session towards the end of the session also. So if you will allow, then I can begin. We are going to cover these which I have already mentioned, that the recent amendments in the last 1.5 years impacting our export community. Then we are going to discuss about the burning issues in GST scrutiny as well as your GST audit. This is the first amendment which we are going to discuss. That, see, if you would see the notification 38/2023 dated 4th of August, which was just last month, what has happened? There is a new automated form which has been introduced in the name of DRC01C. What is this, sir? Let's assume we have claimed 100 rupees GST credit in GSTR 3B for the month of August 2023. Now, whatever amount which comes in our GSTR 2A, it gets auto-populated in table 4A5 in our GSTR 3B return. For instance, for the month of August 2023, it is 60 rupees. 40 rupees gap is there for the month of August. Now, if this 40 rupees gap, if it exceeds a particular threshold for this issue to be triggered, this notice to be triggered, this notice will come to our comment portal. What notice? They will ask us to reply in 7 days. The reason for the difference of this 40 rupees or pay this 40 rupees along with applicable interest in section 50 subsection 3, which is 18% per annum on the input tax credit utilized in DRC 03 voluntarily. Or if you don't reply in 7 days, here if you see that particular diagram, there's a mismatch between 2A, 3B. If it is more than the threshold amount, say 20, 25, 30%, we don't know that yet. We have to reply within 7 days in part B of DRC01C, explain the reasons or pay the dues so demanded. If not, if we don't provide any satisfactory response, we do not pay, or if our responses, if we do not provide the response in 7 days, so they have the liberty to initiate adjudication proceedings under section 73, under section 74. 73 is non-fraud cases, 74 is fraud cases. This particular facility has not become live on portal yet. This will come in the next 3-4 months. But this is the format of this particular notice from the notification. If you would see out here, 2B, 60 rupees, 100 rupees, 40 rupees difference, you have to reply, you have to pay in DRC 03, you have to reply in part B of this form online. So this particular amount of 40 rupees, if you say no sir, 25 rupees is legitimate, I will pay 25 rupees here. We will pay in DRC 03, mention the ARN number, we will pay 25 rupees input tax credit. For remaining 15 rupees, I will dispute. Dispute means I will say no sir, due to these reasons or other reasons, there is a genuine chance that there may be a mismatch between 2B and 3B for the month of August. What can be the first? The government itself gives these reasons. It's there in the form. You just need to select these. First reason is that input tax rate, for example, we have a purchase invoice for dated 30th of August, but the goods actually come on the 2nd of September. Section 16 subsection 2 clause B, it does not get fulfilled in the month of August. We are going to claim the input in the month of September by making entry in our books of accounts in the month of September. We are aware of this. So for the month of August, table 4A5 will be auto-populated. Table 4B2 we have to do temporary reversal. We have to do temporary reversal. And we are going to claim the particular input in the month of September in table 4A5 and report in 4D1. So in the month of September, GSTR 2B will not again auto-populate the same invoice because it auto-populated in the month of August. So there will be 2B will be less, 3B will be more. So that can be one reason. There are several other reasons out here. The GST department, they themselves, they understand that. There may be some omission earlier which we are claiming now. Import of goods. Table 10 of GSTR 2A many times due to IceGate, due to problem with integration with IceGate, GSTR 10 does not get auto-populated with the input tax rate from the for the import. But this is a set law. We are going to discuss this further. Section 36 of CGST Act prescribes the prescribed documents on the basis of which we can claim input tax credit. Bill of entry is one of them. Yeah. So on the basis of bill of entry, as per section 36, we can claim input tax credit. There is no mandate under section rule 36 sub rule 4 also. We are going to discuss this further later. So there are many reasons. So this is the first amendment. These are small amendments related to registration. This has all happened in the last 1 to 2 months, 4th of August. Now in the first one, application for revocation of cancellation of GSTN, big issue last 2-3 years because of COVID, because GSTR 3B return could not be filed continuously for 6 months due to some reason or the other, shortage of fund. They are cancelling GSTN, right? Now earlier the rule was you can apply for a revocation in only 30 days from the date of the order. Now in the law itself they made amendment, they've made it 90 days. So it is a favorable amendment for us. Plus it can be extended further to 180 days. Second amendment here, if you are taking a new registration, for example, a new company, of the same company, new vertical in Bengal or outside the state, we have to do that, right? If we are taking that, please remember this new rule. Otherwise, your GSTR 1 will be blocked. If within 30 days from the date of registration, you have to update your bank details in your core registration field there in your RC on common portal. If you don't do that, then you have to do in the earlier of the two timing, 30 days or your GSTR1 date, whichever is falling. If your GSTR1 date 11th of the next month is falling before 30th, so you have to, before 30 days, so you have to take the earlier of the two. Otherwise, your GSTR1 will be blocked or your RC may be liable for suspension. Another small amendment is shall be now, as I've already mentioned, that registration may be liable to be suspended if the bank account is not updated in the new RC. Also, this was already there earlier, this particular sub clause, that if there is wide difference in GSTR 2B what is showing and GSTR, like GSTR 2B showing 10 rupees, we have claimed 1 lakh rupees in 3B, wide difference. So obviously they are going to issue the other one, DRC 01C, which we have discussed, but it is not live, but this is also one of the reasons for cancellation of your GST license. This is like the way we discussed about mismatch in input tax credit in 2B and 3B, same way for output tax liability, there should be something, right? There should be some form. Now, this particular notification is dated 26th of December, means within the last 9 to 10 months, right? And this has been made active on the GST portal on 29th of June 2023. This is active, sir. I will show you the next slide. Full entire portal view will be there. What does this say? Same thing. GSTR1, we disclose 100 rupees output tax liability. Now, as you would be knowing, after the addition of explanation to section 75 subsection 12, whatever amount you are showing in your GSTR1 will be assumed as self-assessment tax by the department. Department will not worry or see that self-assessment tax means what? जितना आपको पैसा देना है, जितना आपका sale बनता है. Earlier it was your GST return, 3B, whatever you will show, that will be a self-assessed. No. In GSTR1, if you show 100 rupees, department will say your tax is actually 100 rupees, that is your self-assessed. In GSTR 3B, if you don't pay 100 rupees, if you pay, for example, 75 rupees, that difference of 25 rupees, if it exceeds the threshold, we don't know the threshold yet. It might be 20% excess, it might be 10%, it might be 15%. But if in our example, 75 rupees we paid in 3B for the month of August, 100 rupees you disclosed in GSTR 1 for the month of August, 25 rupees gap is there, this notice will be issued. This is an auto-generated notice, DRC 01B. Sir, please mind it, this has already been made active. Very few people know because this has been made active on 29th of June 2023. And I'll show you how the form looks like. You have to reply again in 7 days. You have to either pay this 25 rupees along with applicable interest or you have to provide reasons, right? If you don't do so, obviously they can recover this particular amount by not going the normal route, 73, 74 show cause. No, they will directly go to attaching your bank statement, recovery of taxes. Under section 79, they have the power. This is how it looks on the portal. This is GSTR 150 lakhs, 25 lakh tax you have paid in 3B, 25 lakh you have not paid yet. The department wants you to pay 25 lakhs along with applicable interest in 7 days. Either you do that by making payment and showing the ARN number, you say 10 lakh rupees I agree, I am going to pay because it is my mistake. 15 lakh rupees, there is some prior period adjustment item. There is some error in GSTR 1. Which I am going to amend. So these reasons are here. The department itself knows that in all cases GSTR 1 and 3B amount may not match for that period. But for the entire year it should match provided previous year reporting and this year reporting in the next period, that is eliminated. First reason, excess liability. In GSTR 3B we paid earlier excess. So this period for the month of August I paid only 75 rupees. So I need to give the reasons here and then continue. Now, as I mentioned that if we do not respond to this particular notice in DRC 01B, we do not pay within 7 days, we do not provide satisfactory response. So, what will happen? Recovery proceedings may be initiated under section 79. So, for recovery proceedings, new form has been introduced, which is DRC 01D. From when? From 4th of August. Now, what is this form? In case if our tax liability mismatch is there, DRC 01B has been issued, but we have not made payment, neither have we replied nor have we provided a satisfactory response, then the proper officer can issue DRC 01D and directly go on and attach your bank statement. But 7 days time will be provided. In fact, sir, this is in a nature of providing principles of natural justice for 7 days. Because before this was come out, we were shocked with the explanation provided in section 75 subsection 12, which says clearly, if 100 rupees GSTR 1 mein hai, in GSTR 3B if you make 75 rupees, 25 rupees, no show cause notice, no explanation, no opportunity of hearing, we will directly go and attach your bank statement. So in the industry it became a big time, this thing that, how can you go and you snatch my bank account if there is some major mismatch? So you need to give me at least one chance of opportunity to represent myself. So this is that chance. that one DRC01B, and if you do not respond in that, then it is you have to recovery in DRC01D. This is also very important. We need to understand this is the first year, 2022-23 is the first year for applicability of Rule 37A. Extremely important for the perspective of our audit means filing GST and 99C as well as departmental audit to understand this. Try to understand. Today is the 21st of September. We need to do this compliance in the next 9 days. So what is this particular rule? This rule came out in when? It's 26th of December. What does this rule say? This rule says that, sir, in the month of December 2022 and 22-23, I purchased goods of 100 rupees from a particular supplier. That supplier, I have the bill, I have made the payment to him, I have received the goods, everything. So I claim 18 rupees input tax credit in December 2022 clear till now, right? Now, I don't check usually whether the filing status in GSTR 2B of the supplier is yes or no. Who will check that? I don't have the time to check that. I just see that my input should appear in GSTR 2B for me to claim in GSTR 3B. Now, sir, fast forward up to 30th of September 2023, 9 days later, sir, today is 21st, 9 days later, department is giving that supplier a chance to file his pending GSTR 3B from December 22 till 30th of September 2023. In case, sir, he does not file his pending GSTR 3B, means if he does not pay the tax to the government up to when? 30th of September of the subsequent year of 22-23. So what do I have to do as a recipient? I will have to identify how many suppliers the filing status is no. So before 30th of September or after say 30th of September, say 1st of October, 2nd of October, I am going to see my 2A. And I am going to see filing status, no, not filed. For a particular month, I have claimed input of that month. Before 30th of November, I am going to reverse that particular input tax rate which I have claimed in December 2022 before 30th of November in my October GSTR 3B. And if I don't do that, I'll have to start paying interest. And sir, interest from when? You may ask me, interest from 1st of December or interest from 20th of January 2023, because the input pertained to December 22. So the filing due date of GSTR 3B is 20th January. So interest will be retrospective from 20th Jan 2023 to the date of reversal, or whether it will be after 30th of November, 1st of December. This is not clear till now. My view is obviously the favorable view. Why to go to that extent? Why to go to that extent? We will open a GSTR 2A in the first week of October, see filing status, it is no. We are going to relate that particular invoice to our GSTR 3B of that month, reverse it temporarily in table 4B2 of October return and file that October return before 30th of November. No interest to be paid. Mind it, no interest to be paid. Now you would say, sir, ये तो बहुत अच्छा चीज है. I am going to claim input in the month of December. Government has not got money only. Supplier has not filed his GSTR 3B, government has not got money. I am availing input for the next 9-10 months. Government has not got the this thing, and I don't have to reverse till 30th November. So free fund hai. But this is the benefit which this particular rule provides. Since the recipient is expected to reverse ITC by 30th November, immediate reversal is not required. Sir, if you are doing year-end reconciliation, many companies they do year-end reconciliation because they have to file their LODR for subsidiary or listed company, whatever they do every month. We have to do every month for claiming GSTR 3B. But if year-end, if we do reconciliation and if we see filing status no, we don't have to reverse then. Sir, wait till 30th September. Why to reverse then? Why to block your credit more? Why to block your credit more? So 30th September, wait for the next year. If the particular person has filed his GSTR 3B, very well fine. Not filed, reverse it in table 4B2 in 30th before 30th November. If you do that, no interest. So you don't have to reverse also, you don't have to pay interest also up to 30th November. So for 2022-23, sir, please, when you're doing your reconciliations, please kindly check all the filing statuses, right? So I've already explained all of this. Now, sir, there might be a question you may ask. You are also talking about filing of GSTR 3B. You are not talking about payment of your tax which he has collected. For instance, if the supplier has filed his GSTR 3B in the month of September only, but he has filed paying half the output tax liability, this rule will not be invoked because he has filed his GSTR 3B. Now, filing status is yes, so you don't have to reverse your input tax credit before 30th. But now you will say, sir, he will pay payment 50%, I will avail 100% input. So, karma will catch him also because he will be issued DRC01B, which we just discussed, Rule 88C from the department, difference of GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B, he will be issued. Firstly, secondly, if he does not file in December, next 6 months his GSTN will be cancelled. Now it has been reduced to 2 months, right? So this is also important, and this is one of the most important portions. I will tell you where exactly. Kindly note that. Not this, the next few slides. This we already all of us we know. From the 1st of October 2022, the on the freight on movement transportation of goods outside India in way of export, that has been, the exemption has been withdrawn. Earlier exemption was there from 25th of January 2018 till 30th of September 2022. This particular exemption was there. What was the exemption? Services by way of transportation of goods by a vessel from India to outside India. On export consignments, you did not have to pay GST on the freight, right? So this has been withdrawn from 1st of October. We all know this because it's been a year. What is the further amendment, which very few people know, and the next slide, in fact, very few people would be knowing what is coming their way from the 1st of October. Extremely important. Here, try to understand the place of supply. Rules have been changed in Finance Act 2023. Now, if Finance Act 2023 notifies this particular change from effect from 1st of October 2023, means we still have 10 days, right? So, what is happening here? The place of supply, in case, what is section 12 subsection 8, which is being removed, proviso, what is being removed, I'll just give you a brief. Place of supply determines what nature of tax will be there. IGST, CGST, tax will be there, but what nature of tax will be there, whether it will be RCM, FCM, all that it will decide, okay? This particular proviso has been omitted. What did this proviso say? This proviso said that when goods are being transported for export outside India, for the purpose, in nature of service of transportation of goods, the place of supply of this nature of transportation of goods will be the destination of goods, which will be outside India. This is simple. This has been removed. And now they are saying for all the export consignments, the service which you are taking of ocean freight, air freight, whatever it is, the place of supply will be the location of the registered person, means the Indian exporter. Indian exporter, India में जो हम बैठा हुए बंगाल में, place of supply बंगाल हो गया. This is very important. Second thing, this has been omitted. Section 13 subsection 9, I will relate with examples. Don't mug this up, I will relate with examples. The next it will be more clear. Section 13 subsection 9 has been removed. What does this say? This says that in section 12 it says where both the importer and exporter are in India, then place of supply will be as per section 12. When supplier or recipient, one of them is outside India, the place of supply will be dictated by section 13 of IGST. Section 13 subsection 9 has been removed. What does it say? In cases of transportation of goods, the place of supply will be the destination of goods. Same thing. Export में बाहर जा रहे हैं माल ना, तो place of supply for the vessel transportation will be outside India. This has been changed. Now try to understand this. Let us come to first to our normal cases. What we are dealing from 1st of October 2022. What are we dealing? Sir, Indian shipping line है, transporter, service provider, Indian shipping line. एक गुजरात में है, एक आंध्र प्रदेश में है. These two examples we will take simultaneously. Recipient of transportation service means exporter of goods of India. वो होता है recipient of transportation service, right? So they are in India. तो FCM होगा ना sir, forward charge mechanism. They are going to charge 5%. If they are not taking input of their goods and certain restrictions, or they will charge 18% with taking full input. But usually 5% is there. So they are going to charge FCM and they are going to charge 5% from 1st of October. We all know this. We all know this. What is the change here? Try to understand this. Foreign shipping line. अभी तो इंडियन शिपिंग लाइन है, सबको पता है. फॉरेन शिपिंग लाइन में क्या हो रहा है? हम यहाँ पर खड़ा होकर के बंगाल में आई एम एक्सपोर्टिंग गुड्स आउटसाइड एंड आई एम एंगेजिंग द सर्विसेज ऑफ फॉरेन शिपिंग लाइन. ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड, एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट. फॉरेन शिपिंग लाइन, he is a service provider outside India. I am the exporter of goods, but I am availing the service. I am the recipient of services in India. Outside India, in India. Place of supply as per section 13 जो मैंने अभी just दिखाया ना, ये section 13. But this has been omitted. What does this say, sir? This says that place of supply will be the destination of goods. So destination of goods to was America, China, Singapore earlier. That has been removed and it has been made, the default entry has been made. Default entry क्या है? Section 13 subsection 2. That is the default entry. That is again the location of the service recipient will be the place of supply. Service recipient कौन है sir? हम खुद बंगाल में बैठे हुए हैं. The exporter of goods has become the importer of service. What is the definition of import of service? Extremely important. These three. As per section 2 clause 11. Foreign shipping line located outside India. Indian exporter who is the recipient of service of transportation, ocean freight, is located in India, Bengal. Place of supply of services in India. It becomes import of service. from 1st of October 2023. What does this mean? This means that ये जो बंदा है ये importer of service बन गया. Importer of service मतलब कि we cannot, the department will not catch the foreign shipping line for payment. अरे सर ये बाहर का पार्टी है, ये अंदर का पार्टी है, तो IGST तो लगेगा ना, it's an interstate supply, right? But who will pay? Foreign shipping line, is it registered in GST? Does the department know? No, no one, he'll catch you, he'll ask you to pay RCM. 5, 6, 10 crores, 50 crores, जो भी पैसा आप लोग फॉरेन शिपिंग लाइन को पैसा दे रही है फ्रेट के लिए, फ्रॉम 1st of October, प्लीज स्टार्ट चार्जिंग 5% RCM and pay claim input against that, but huge blockage of working capital. Huge blockage of working capital. But if you don't do that, interest. एक महीना का करोड़ों के ऊपर में आप सोचिए, one consignment is going out in the month of September. In October, for instance, we are making payment. Time of supply is in October with the foreign shipping line. RCM ka liability is in October. We do not make, we do not know. I come to know, my CA tells me in December. October, November, December. 3 months interest I have to pay on 5% of crores of freight, which I have to pay the foreign shipping line. So RCM I have to pay, I can claim input. This was one extremely important thing which I mentioned. This is for importers. Those people who are importing goods. What is this, sir? Let's come to these last 2 points here. These are no changes. Let's come to these points. Foreigner transporter service provider, transportation service provider. Foreigner means foreign shipping line. This is recipient of transportation service, मतलब importer जो अपना इंडिया में जो importer है, he is doing on FOB. That's why तो he is engaging the foreign shipping line and he is the recipient of transportation service. Had it been CIF, तो CIF में तो foreigner के साथ ही बात करता है, और हम लोग को तो मतलब कि we don't have to pay, right? I mean we pay the direct exporter, foreign exporter. In this particular case, the foreign shipping line is the service provider, recipient is here in India, which is the importer of goods. Now here what has happened, we have to, obviously everyone must be knowing that the definition of import here. Foreign shipping line located outside India, recipient means the importer of goods. He is also the availer of the services of foreign transport under FOB. He is the recipient, he is in India. Place of supply is in India or not? Place of supply is in India or not? What is this? One outside, one India. Section 13 will come. Section 13 subsection 9 is crossed out. So the recipient of the freight, the transport, that place of supply will be the recipient of the transportation service. That is the Indian importer. That is in Bengal. So the place of supply is in Bengal, is in India. Place of supply in India. Foreigner, service provider, recipient in India, right? So this will become importer service, we have to pay RCM. This everyone knows, I'm just explaining. This is for FOB transactions, for import of service, on freight, we have to pay RCM. No questions asked. But second, sir, last one. Here, Supreme Court came for a good aid. Mohit Minerals, if anyone can recall anything regarding Mohit Minerals case. Here, CIF basis. Foreign shipping line, foreigner. He is the transporter. But here, foreigner is only engaging the foreign shipping line because it's CIF contract. Importer here, I just need to pay the amount to the foreign exporter. That's it. I don't need to engage directly and all. But here also in this case, the GST department tried to put his hand around the collar of the taxpayer and saying that, sir, as per this entry serial number 10, draconian serial number 10, notification this. It is saying if the service supplied by person, the foreign shipping line, by transportation of goods or vessel from outside India to India, the importer shall be deemed, who is located in India, to be deemed to be the recipient of service, of the transportation service. So when the supplier is also outside, the receiver is also outside, the Indian importer has been caught to make the payment as a deemed importer of what? 5% of 10% of CIF value. अरे सर CIF कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है, मेरे को क्या पता है कितना फ्रेट है वहां पर, तो उन लोग दोनों बात की है ना, मेरे को तो सिर्फ पेमेंट करना है एक्सपोर्टर को बाहर वाला. सो डिपार्टमेंट बोला कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, आई विल मेक द असेसमेंट वैल्यू 10% ऑफ CIF वैल्यू, उसके ऊपर 5% पेमेंट करिए अंडर RCM. So this has been struck down by the Gujarat High Court in Mohit Minerals case. We discussed this the last time also, I remember. And this has been further validated by the Honorable Supreme Court in this landmark judgment. This shook the entire industry in our favor. Yes. Because now the department cannot directly catch you and ask you in CIF contracts, in case of inbound freight, you have to pay RCM. No, just show this particular case law and you will be relieved. But sir, the worst thing is crores and crores of refund which I have already paid. There is no notification about it. What is the mechanism of getting that refund which I have already paid under RCM? How will I get that? A lot of clients of ours, they are suffering regarding that. Sir, these are small clarifications in regard to GST refund. These are 2 months ago only, July. First one, someone here would have filed an RFD 01 for refund, obviously, for unutilized input tax credit, definitely in case of LUT, which is non-payment of tax, right? So there what happens, sir, when you file an RFD 01 in Annexure B, when all the invoices are there which you have claimed, for which you apply refund, what is it matched with? GSTR 2A, na? Proper officer says, please make a PDF of GSTR 2A for the refund period, upload it, they match all that. That has been changed, long gone. From 14th of July, now 2B has come. Big problem, sir, big problem. Try to understand. This has been retrospectively affected from 1st of January 2022. Why is this date? Any clicking in the head, sir? Why is this date? Because from 1st of January 2022, GSTR 2B and 3B matching was mandated. Before that, there was nothing in the law. Section 16 subsection 2 clause AA read with amended rule 36 sub rule 4. It came into effect from 1st January 2022, which meant that whatever amount is there in your 2B, you are going to claim in 3B. So same way, today, standing on 14 July 2023, the government goes back to 1st of January 2022 and says, if you are today filing a refund application which covers a period from 1st of January 2022, you have to follow GSTR 2B. Now what is the problem, sir? My refund period is from 1st January to 30th October, 10 months. In that GSTR 2B is a dynamic statement, we all know, 2B is a static statement, we all know that's not a dynamic statement. Means on the 14th of the subsequent month, 2B is generated. It depends entirely on your supplier, whether he uploads your properly, your invoice properly, whether B2B remains B2B, it does not become B2C, all of that. In those 10 months, if your invoice does not appear in 2B, you cannot claim credit, a refund. Big problem. Now the benefit earlier, what was that? GSTR 2A is a dynamic statement. In the month of September 2023, if any supplier of mine still uploads his invoice for the month of April, May, June, July, September 2022, my 2A will be dynamic. In 2 days it will be uploaded. If I file after the 3rd day, my RFD 01 GSTR 2A is updated. 2A matching, credit you will get. But 2B is blocked that time. Your supplier did not upload that time. Your supplier uploaded now. So 2A will be updated, 2B will be not. So your refund will be constrained. I hope this particular point was clear. This is a very, very unfavorable point for us. This particular is a favorable clarification. Sir, what used to happen, you would have experienced this also, it's quite funny. When we file for refund application and a unutilized input tax credit, in case of non-payment of IGST under LUT and bond, there is a formula. The value of export, 0 rated in the numerator, adjusted total turnover denominator into the ITC appearing in total for your tax period in Annexure B, subject to the ITC available at the time of filing of RFD 01 or at the time of your tax period ending, right? Now what has happened, many officers, they have the clarification by notification 14/2022 this, that the numerator will be FOB value, lower of FOB or the invoice value. For instance, if you export CIF, but still refund, you will be getting on FOB value of the export. So that will be the numerator, that has been clarified. But what will be the denominator? Denominator is adjusted total turnover, which means domestic supply, exempt supply, everything taken together, and your 0 rated supply is also there. But here, in 0 rated supply, they are taking CIF value, higher value. Numerator, they are taking FOB value, denominator, they are taking CIF value or value as per the tax invoice. What is that happening? Numerator, mathematics में क्या होता है? चौड़ा होते जा रहा है. Numerator छोटा होते जा रहा है, denominator चौड़ा होते जा रहा है. So obviously the refund amount will be much lesser. So that was the problem. So it has been clarified that no sir, if you are taking FOB value in the numerator, please take FOB value of the export in the denominator in adjusted total turnover plus the domestic turnover. So it is clarified that both numerator and denominator, they will have the FOB value only. This again, there are certain time limits within which we have to make refund, within which we have to export the goods. For goods, we have to do it within 3 months from the date of invoice. Or for services, we have to comply with 1 year. Within 1 year, the foreign exchange should come to our authorized dealer or in our bank account. Otherwise, what will happen? There is some rule, 96A. Within 15 days of expiry of 3 months or for 1 year, you have to pay the IGST along with applicable interest, for which you have taken LUT and a bond. So now, 2-3 months later, 5th month or 6th month, you do your export. COVID हो गया, delay हो गया, कुछ भी हो गया, जो भी है. Now you will say, sir, I have done export. You have taken two amounts from me. One is to obviously the unutilized input tax rate, which is blocked, and the other you asked me to pay input tax IGST along with applicable interest. So I am going to apply for refund for the unutilized input tax rate under RFD 01. That is clear. Within 2 years, I'll do that. But what about the IGST payment which I have done because of violation of this rule? Whether I get a refund for that? Yes, I will get refund for that. What was the mechanism? File in excess payment of tax in RFD 01. This is a new proviso. Again, this mentions the same thing in terms in when you are exporting goods, you expect the full value of export. You expect the full value of export to be realized within 9 months. What is mentioned in FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act, the time period mentioned in FEMA is 9 months. When you are exporting goods, you expect the foreign exchange to come in 9 months. If it does not come in 9 months, then what do you have to do? You will have to pay back the refund along with applicable interest. So this particular insertion of new proviso mentions this only. You can also note during GST audit if they mention that this particular 9 months was increased to 15 months for the receipt of foreign exchange for exports done during COVID up to July 31st, 2020. This is for all those exporters who make exports with payment of IGST. There is an amendment here, insertion of new section 16 subsection 4. Government says ki sab cheez hataiye. I will now notify the class of persons, I will notify the goods and services for which you can make export with payment of IGST. I don't care what you do, what your business model is, I don't know. If your goods are not there in this list, you can do the export with payment of IGST. So there are only 3-4 different types of goods here, pan masala, unmanufactured tobacco and all of those related entries. But if tomorrow the government puts in any particular good for which you are doing exports, you will not be able to follow the route of export with payment of IGST. So this is the current notification which has come out. This will come into effect from 1st of October 2023. This was notified in July 31st, but this amendment pertains to Finance Act 2021, 2 years ago, notified now. This is also a very important portion. Few people, have you heard of electronic credit reversal and reclaim statement, which has just come out last month? Have you heard, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. So this has just come out last month, not even 1 month, 31st of August. Extremely important. Try to understand the concept of this. Let us see the GSTR 3B. This is GSTR 3B. Now there are certain cases for temporary reversal, which you've already mentioned. अभी तो mention किए ना 30 तारीख का invoice था, 2 तारीख को माल आया अगला महीना का, तो we cannot take it in August. We have to take it in September. So what are we going to do? We are in the month of August. We are going to reverse in table 4B2, right? Because the input will be auto-populated in 4A5. And now this is the GSTR 3B for the month of September, assume. So we are going to claim input tax credit with our hand. We are going to add it in 4A5 and we are going to report it in 4D1. This is the process. I hope everyone knows that. This is not the amendment. The amendment is that in these cases where goods have not been received, you are doing temporary reversal in 4B2. Supplier has not filed his GSTR 3B return. Let's go to the first slide. Rule 88D, DRC 01C, where the supplier has not filed his 3B. So you come to know you do your temporary reversal of input tax credit in table 4B2. Let's come to this point. Are you aware that you have to reverse your input tax credit temporarily if you are not making payment to your supplier within 180 days from the date of invoice? Second proviso to section 16 subsection 2 read with rule 37. So these are few cases, sir, where temporary reversal of input tax credit is mandated. Temporary reversal in 4B2. बात समझिए सर, 4B2 में temporary reversal हम लोग किए, ठीक है? ये चार्ट देखिए. From July 17, I could not fit the entire sheet. This is a sheet made by me from July 17 to July 23. We have to make a list of what? We have to make a list of all the such inputs, which we have reversed in table 4B2, but we have not claimed it yet in table 4A5. We have not yet claimed in table 4A5. So what are we going to do? Up to July 23, we are going to calculate that all that amount which we have temporarily reversed in table 4B2, but we have not reclaimed it in table 4A5. And we are going to use that as the opening balance. We are going to use it as opening balance. This particular statement is opening balance. They are asking you to put this figure which you are yet to claim, which you have reversed but yet to claim. टेम्परेरी रिवर्सल, यू आर गोइंग टू पुट दिस, सो आपका जुलाई 2023 तक सॉर्टेड हो गया. डिपार्टमेंट ये चाहते हैं कि आप वॉलंटरली सर डिस्क्लोज करिए बिकॉज इट्स सो कॉम्प्लिकेटेड. 4B2, 4A5, 4D1, who will keep a track? So department wants to keep a track of this. तो ये आपका ओपनिंग बैलेंस हो गया. द अमाउंट फॉर इंस्टेंस 100 रुपीज है यहाँ पर आपका, ठीक है. नाउ फॉर द मंथ ऑफ ऑगस्ट, दिस इज ऑलरेडी स्टार्टेड. फॉर द मंथ ऑफ ऑगस्ट यू डू अ टेम्परेरी रिवर्सल बिकॉज माल नहीं आया सर. 30th अगस्त तक माल नहीं आया, मैंने 4B2 में 10 रुपया मैंने रिवर्स कर दिया. So what will happen? Up to July 2023, I filed this particular statement. 100 रुपया है अपने पास क्रेडिट में. 100 rupees, 100 rupees, 100 rupees, 100 rupees. For the month of August, 10 rupees added. 10 rupees, 10 rupees, 10 rupees. अब 110 रुपया हो गया. Now what will happen? September month will come. September month में मैं आया. September month में I will say sir, oh अच्छा मेरा माल तो अभी आ गया, goods आ गया, और my particular supplier, I paid amount to my particular supplier. I want to reclaim the credit. I will reclaim 120 rupees. I will reclaim 120 rupees here. I will claim 120 rupees here in table 4A5 and I will report it in table 4D1. क्या होएगा सर? आपका खाता में तो 110 रुपया था ना? Opening balance 100. 10 rupees was the temporary reversal in 4B2 for the month of August. But you are claiming more than what you are saying that you are to claim, right? So you are claiming 120 rupees in table 4A5. So there will be a red warning, validation. कि how are you claiming more than your temporary reversal which is yet to be claimed? So scrutiny notices may be received wherein we have to explain why are we claiming more than what we are saying that we have temporarily reversed and not claimed yet, right? We need to understand certain things. The taxpayers having monthly filing frequency, as I told you, they need to report up to the period from July 17 to July 23. What? जितना input अपने reverse किए temporary 4B2 में for these 3-4 reasons which we have not claimed back. And for QRMP, again the same thing. April, June means 30th June, and here 30th July will be the cutoff date. This has to be reported up to 30th of November. So don't be perspiring thinking that we have to do it today, tomorrow, but we can do it up to 30th of November. मतलब ओपनिंग बैलेंस 30 तारीख तक दे सकते हैं 30th नवंबर, लेकिन आपका खाता स्टार्ट हो गया है. अगस्त में जितना अमाउंट 4B2 में रिवर्स करेंगे ऐड होते जाएगा, सितंबर में ऐड होते जाएगा, लेकिन ओपनिंग बैलेंस क्या है? दैट यू कैन डू अप टू 30th of November, राइट? And this can be amended up to 3 times. When we are making supply to government departments, establishments, government agencies, it is still a supply, right? We all know we have to issue an e-invoice. If people are under the impression they don't have to issue e-invoice because they are making supply to the government departments, agencies, that's incorrect. They will deduct TDS if the threshold is increased, and you will have to, if they are registered just for the purpose of TDS under section 51, they are not making any supply, they are just procuring. Still you have to issue an e-invoice. Kindly make a note of this. CSR activity. Last 5 years I have been hearing CSR activity, whether it is block credit, whether we can avail, there is a dispute, case laws, etc. Now the department has made it extremely clear. From 1st of December, if your company has the threshold of having a CSR, means corporate social responsibility, so any goods or services used or intended to be used for CSR activity blocked. New provision. Section 17 subsection 5 clause FA. So we cannot, मतलब आप कुछ सोसाइटी के लिए भला कर रहे हो, उसमें आपको अपना बेनिफिट नहीं ले सकते. You cannot get input tax credit on this. These 2-3 are related to e-invoices. Now any company out here which has a turnover of more than 100 crores, there would be, right? Now earlier there was no time limit for issuing e-invoices. भूल गए सर, 3 महीना बाद में ध्यान आया, वो अच्छा ये इनवॉइस था, इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट कर देंगे, लेकिन there is an opportunity to make an e-invoice. आप e-invoice ही नहीं बना पाएंगे तो बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा. Because if you are supposed to make e-invoice for what? Up more than 5 crores annual aggregate turnover from 1st of August. यहाँ पर I am talking about 100 crores, right? Now the time limit has been made only for 30 days. मतलब after 30 days from the date of invoice you cannot issue an e-invoice. From when? 1st of November. मतलब 1st of November का आपका bill है, 1st December में you cannot make an e-invoice. So this restriction has come in. This particular update we already are for 5 crore, more than 5 crore annual aggregate turnover, we know for B2B, B2C transaction, HSN, how many digits? 6 digits, right? But they are the e-invoice portal, they are all saying you have to put it in the e-invoice and e-way bill. If you don't do that, from 1st of October, we will not allow you to issue e-invoice, e-way bill. And for annual aggregate turnover lower than 5 crore rupees, it is B2B, what, how much? Digits, 4 digits, B2C, 0, right? But पहले तो हवा में बात था कि you just need to issue it in the इनवॉइस. अभी ई इनवॉइस ई-वे बिल में भी मैंडेट कर दी है. You will not be able to issue this after 1st of October if you don't comply with this. Two-factor authentication for annual aggregate turnover more than 20 crores. Two-factor authentication, what is that? OTP भी लगेगा login credential के साथ.
E-invoice और e-invoice दोनों में. E-invoice है ना?
E-invoice में सर. या आपका स्टार्ट हो गया 1 नवंबर से स्टार्ट होगा.
नहीं सर, e-webin में भी होगा.
हो रहा है, ई-वेमिल में भी हो रहा है. ये वाला सर देखिए, ड्यूरिंग वारंटी पीरियड इफ अ मैन्युफैक्चरर इज प्रोवाइडिंग रिप्लेसमेंट ऑफ पार्ट्स और प्रोवाइड कोई रिपेयर सर्विस दे रहे फ्री में होता है ना सर, 2 साल 3 साल का वारंटी पीरियड. सो इफ यू आर नॉट चार्जिंग, द मैन्युफैक्चरर इज नॉट चार्जिंग एनी जीएसटी, सॉरी नॉट चार्जिंग एनी कंसिडरेशन, जीएसटी नहीं पेमेंट करना, कोई नोशनल कंसेप्ट शेड्यूल 1 कवरिंग विदाउट कंसिडरेशन, वो सब चीज नहीं है. ओके, सिंपल. बट इफ यू आर चार्जिंग एनी अमाउंट फ्रॉम द कस्टमर ड्यूरिंग दिस वारंटी पीरियड, यू हैव टू पे जीएसटी ऑन दैट. Similarly for distributors, now if the distributor does that and he raises a claim invoice to the manufacturer, so the manufacturer will pay, right, and he can claim input, or otherwise he can issue a credit note against his previous sales, right, he can do that and the distributor will have to reverse his ITC. कोई भी extended warranty है at the time of original sale, that is a composite supply, at that point in time GST was charged, but बाद में कुछ भी बेचा गया है extended warranty after the main supply, then it will depend on your nature. ये composite supply है क्या है, so principal supply जो है उसका rate लगेगा आपको. This is a very beneficial, this is a very important one, very beneficial clarification. Let's try to understand this, sir. IGST 100 रुपया का legitimate claim करना था, कर लिए 200 रुपया. क्या करना होगा सर? When did we claim this? 1st of August 2023. मैंने क्या किया, 100 रुपया का माल, 100 रुपया का IGST बनता था, बट बाय मिस्टेक आई हैव क्लेम्ड इट 200 रुपीज, 100 रुपीज एक्स्ट्रा. अर्लियर आपका इंटरेस्ट अंडर सेक्शन 50 सब सेक्शन 3 कैसे लगता था? इफ दिस 100 रुपीज हैज बीन यूटिलाइज्ड अगेंस्ट पेमेंट ऑफ एनी टैक्स, आउटपुट टैक्स लायबिलिटी, तो जितना आपका यूटिलाइज हो गया है उतना आपका लगेगा. फॉर इंस्टेंस आपका पहले का मैं बता रहा हूं, 100 रुपया गलती से क्लेम कर लिए, IGST खाता में सिर्फ 30 रुपया था. कब से? 1st अगस्त से लेकर के द डेट ऑफ एक्चुअल रिवर्सल विच इज 30th नवंबर, मतलब अगस्त का पूरा महीना, अगस्त, सितंबर, अक्टूबर, नवंबर, 4 महीना में मेरा मैक्सिमम IGST बैलेंस था 30 रुपीज. तो 70 रुपया मैं खा गया ना 70 रुपया. आई हैव यूज्ड इट अगेंस्ट पेमेंट ऑफ टैक्स, सो आई हैव टू पे इंटरेस्ट ऑन ओनली दैट अमाउंट. ये तो क्लियर है, तो पहले से पता है, वी हैव डिस्कस्ड दिस लास्ट ईयर आल्सो. बेनिफिट, व्हाट इज द बेनिफिट सर? बेनिफिट ये है कि 30 रुपया अब सिर्फ नहीं काउंट होएगा. 30 रुपया IGST, 100 रुपया CGST बैलेंस, 100 रुपया SGST बैलेंस, 230 रुपीज. तो 100 रुपया 230 से तो नीचे है ना, मींस आई हैव नॉट यूटिलाइज द इनकरेक्ट अवेलमेंट ऑफ माय IGST क्रेडिट, नो इंटरेस्ट. very important here. This department may not be following this, but circular has been issued. They may not be.
We got the benefit of it.
Sorry, you got the benefit of this. Very nice, very nice. Good, sir, that you validated this, because many department officers, they are still not following it. But you got this, right? Practically, you handled this particular case. Okay. Now here, credit of compensation says cannot be added. Now the next one, director. Sir, you are the director of your company. घर पड़ा हुआ है, गोडाउन है, कुछ भी है. We are going to give it on rent to our company. Sir, officers were left and right asking the corporate to pay RCM, because any service from a director to a company is liable for RCM, right? 18%. But sir, what service? In what role? Your renting of property to a company is not in the role of a director. It is in the personal capacity. So this has been clarified by this circular latest, like in August last month, that in cases where the property is given or any benefit is given to the company in personal capacity, humane capacity, RCM is not applicable on 18% on the company. Where RCM is applicable, you are non-executive director, sitting fees. You are executive director, but you are charging commission. Or if you are an executive director, what is happening? You are providing some specialized service for which you are not drawing salary, you are drawing some contractual payment, for which TDS is being deducted or not under 194J, whatever that is. But in those cases, your RCM will be applicable. So this has been clarified. Holding this ridiculous point, but I've still added this. Holding company, subsidiary company में shares hold करते हैं. GST department started issuing notices saying कि आपका तो supply है, They started valuing the shares by fair value. They are saying this much amount you hold in the subsidiary company and this particular amount is the supply. Pay GST on that. But this has been clarified that any company which is holding shares in a subsidiary company, it is not supply. It is just like holding. Okay, those were the amendments which we had discussed. Now let us move to scrutiny, burning issues and all of that. Scrutiny, let us understand the scope. So what is scrutiny? Scrutiny क्या है? Let us understand this. Let's come to the next slide. Scrutiny mein sir, they are not going to ask you your tax audit report. They are not going to ask you your 26 years. They are not going to ask you your ledgers, your bank statements, tally ka copy, all that. No. They already have the information with them. Not all that, but they have what? Your GSTR 1 related particular, GSTR 2A related particular, GSTR 3B return. They have your e-way bill, your e-invoices from DGARAM, advanced analytics, indirect tax. They have all that data. Acting on all of that data, they are going to match your GST returns. अच्छा, इसमें 10 रुपया दिखा रहा है GST return में you have claimed input in GSTR 2A. On the portal it is showing 7 rupees, 3 rupees you have claimed extra. What I am trying to say, it is the mathematical comparison of verification, figure by figure. जैसे क्या होता है आपका income tax में 142, 1 intimation ना from CPC, it is mathematical. क्या आपका ग्रॉस कुछ भी गलती है उसमें, वैसे ही करके वेरिफिकेशन विल नॉट आस्क यू फॉर योर डॉक्यूमेंट्स, इट विल नॉट आस्क यू फॉर एनीथिंग, इट विल सी द मैथमेटिकल एक्यूरेसी ऑफ योर सेल्स, इनपुट टैक्स, आउटपुट टैक्स, इनपुट, ऑल ऑफ दैट, राइट? एंड दे आर गोइंग टू इशू यू इन केस ऑफ एनी डिफरेंस. आई हैव रिसीव्ड नोटिसेस ऑफ 5 rupees लेट फीस. आई हैव रिसीव्ड नोटिसेस ऑफ 23 rupees इंटरेस्ट ऑन डिलेड पेमेंट, डिलेड फाइलिंग ऑफ ये GSTR 3B. So कुछ भी हो, so they are going to issue in ASMT 10. One gentleman sir had GST 10 issued, right? Had mentioned, right? So ASMT 10 will be issued to the taxpayer within 30 days. You have to reply, sir. If you receive ASMT 10 on common portal by the state machinery, Belagata, sales tax, etc., they will say reply in 15 days. But we can always quote instruction number 1, 2022, dated 23rd March, as well as section 61, where 30 days is mentioned. You can simply ask all of the officers, say, sir, this particular thing is okay. Just write a letter, send me. He is going to issue you a particular extension. Always takes 30 days, that's your right. Now, in 30 days, sir, you have to explain the differences or make the payment in DRC 03. Explain differences what? 1 में sir 100 रुपया, 3B में 25 rupees है, 75 rupees कहाँ गया? 75 rupees are made the payment earlier. Reconciliations. Case law, waste law, कुछ नहीं. Scrutiny, income tax का नहीं है, GST का है. It is mathematical. No case laws required. No hi-fi stuff required. Only reconciliations. Ask your accountant to do reconciliation, ledger wise of input tax credit, month wise of input tax credit, of 3B, books, 2A, of GSTR 1, sales, GSTR 3B, sales and sales as per books. You will get all the results, right? So here, in case if the response is not satisfactory, you do not make the payment or you do not respond at all within 30 days, this will initiate. He has wide powers. He can initiate show cause notice, section 73, 74. He can recommend a GST departmental audit to you. He can even recommend a search and seizure for you or a special audit by FCA under section 66. Wide powers, right? So we have mentioned the proper officer will always be superintendent. No ACDC. नो ये समन्स के लिए एंटीवेशन, नो. लेट्स हैव द क्लैरिटी. सुपरिंटेंडेंट का नाम नहीं लिखा हुआ, इंस्पेक्टर दिया है. चैलेंज इट ऑन जुरिस्डिक्शन, नॉट ऑन मेरिट. चैलेंज द नोटिस ऑन जुरिस्डिक्शन, इट इज एक्स्ट्रा जुरिस्डिक्शनल. सुपरिंटेंडेंट कैन ओनली इज द प्रॉपर ऑफिसर. वन मोर थिंग इंपॉर्टेंट, लेटेस्ट अवेलेबल डेटा द प्रॉपर ऑफिसर हैज टू हैव. आपके पास नोटिस आया सितंबर में, आपने रिप्लाई किया नवंबर में, वो केस उठाया जनवरी में, और तब तक आपने अपना GSTR 2B is updated. You've made good the omissions, everything you've done. When he is going to open the file or see in January, everything is fine. So you cannot say that no, September, oh acha, this is the annexure, this was a problem. No sir, you have to rely on the latest data available. So you still have some chance after receiving your GST scrutiny thing. Make the reconciliation, make do, good, whatever you can. Here, as far as possible, scrutiny returns minimal interface. You don't have to go and visit the officer. Online reply, reconciliation, you can go and explain to the officer for his convenience, which I always do, because it's very difficult to understand the reconciliations, hundreds of pages. So these basically I've already discussed. Audit is a much wider framework. Just read the definitions, sir. Records, what is it? Examination of records, GST records. GST returns. Records means 2A, 3B, 2A, not 3B. 3B is return. Records is 1, 2A, all the other invoices, etc. and other documents maintained and furnished by the registered person under GST Act. That is fine. Or under any other law for the time being. Income tax, FEMA, Companies Act, whatever law you are maintaining documents, they can have hands to that. This is a very wider connotation. So they can ask you for a tax audit report, they can ask you statutory audit report, ledgers of your sundry creditors, bank statements, tally copy. They can ask you for anything under the sun, they can ask you. To what? To verify the correctness of turnover declared, taxes and all of those things, right? So audit अगर आपका लगा है तो you can be in your mind कि जो documents वो मांग रही है, that can be beyond your GST Act, whatever is required. This is for issuing show cause notices. For the jurisdiction, superintendent 20 लाख तक का tax demand का issue कर सकते हैं notice. ACDC can issue 20 lakhs to 2 crores tax demand, and additional joint commissioner above 2 crores. You can see this, match it with your notice. If it is not complied, कोई अगर superintendent is issuing 30 lakh 40 lakh rupees demand notice, challenge one line. Kindly update it. Kindly, it is my humble request to bring to your humble notice that as per circular number this is, you don't have the right to issue this particular notice and it is for want of jurisdiction or want of your jurisdictional power, right? Extremely, one of the most important slides of the presentation. Okay, please take a note of this. What is this, sir? Let us focus on these three. These are the last dates to issue show cause notices. Show cause notices under section 73. Non-fraud cases for these 3 years. These have been further extended by 3 months. When? In the month of March. March के पहले presentation जब किए थे तभी मैंने आपको बोला 3 months से extend हो गया. That was last year. This means they have extended it a number of years. So, what is the general rule? 7th February 2020 was the due date. Extended due date of GST Act 9 for 17-18. 3 साल बोलते हैं तो 2023 7th February तक ऑर्डर निकाल सकते हैं -3 months. तो कब तक कर सकते थे? 7 November 2022. But all that is past. Department, they don't have the manpower. They cannot cope up with the workload. They have extended it multiple times. Now it is 30th September. 9 days more. After 9 days, they cannot issue your show cause notice under section 73. If they issue your show cause notice under section 74 fraud cases, you can challenge it by saying, sir, where is the suppression? What wrong have I done? Where is the fraud? You can challenge on the basis, not on the merit, but on the jurisdiction. That section 73, so for everything they will issue. But section 74 is that grievous fraud. You have suppressed the information. You have done something fraudulent, right? So these 3 notices for 18-19, 31st December, last date for issue of show cause notice. How do I calculate show cause notice date? It has to be at least 3 months before the order. So this we know. We are calculating this was -3 months, right? This is the last date for issuing order under show cause notice for section 73 for 17-18, 31st December. 3 months before that, 30th September. In case if you receive any notice after this date, mention section 73. Please write that it is time barred. Right? For 18-19, 31st December, 19-20, 31st March. Please understand what I am trying to say. Next 6 months, a lot of notices coming in under 73. So we need to be updated with the law. We need to be in touch with our CAs. We need to do pre-audit, GST audit by ourselves. Internal audits if we are a big company. We need to do reconciliations regularly so that we can eliminate suo moto voluntarily in our existing year 3B and 1 returns. See, now the burning issues, okay, what we are talking about, sir. I have already discussed this. GSTR 1 and 3B, mismatch. 100 rupees 1 mein tha, 75 rupees in 3B. How to deal with this? GST, as per the parameters of scrutiny, they are saying liability declared in 3B should always be higher than GSTR 1, which is not true. These are case studies. You can read it by yourself later because I am going to move forward with other important things. But these are the cases which I have put here, wherein even if you receive a scrutiny notice in these cases, it's a legitimate case. You can respond saying that there is no problem. It may require reconciliations. What I am trying to say that this particular first point, GSTR 1, GSTR 3B mismatch with books, please make reconciliations. There would be prior period adjustments made in this year. Till when can we make the adjustment? For 22-23 onwards. 30th November of the next year. For 22-23, last date for claiming input, last date for making changes in 3B, last date for making changes in GSTR 1, last date for availing the benefit of credit notes. All of that is 30th November. That is if your GSTR 3B of October 23 is filed within 30th November. You can claim all or do all those benefits all of those things of 22-23. For 17-18, 18-19, 19-20, 20-21, 21-22, all of that was the due date of September GSTR 3B return, which was 20th October. But now benefit has been provided since last year. This has been extended to 30th November. Please do reconciliations. These are the tables which I have mentioned, which you can refer to. RCM. RCM, what is happening, sir? They are saying that your input which you have claimed in 482 import of service, 483 domestic, that input cannot exceed the amount which you have paid naturally in 3.1D, right? Please do reconciliations. Similarly, for GSTR 2A, they are saying table 3 and table 5, which contains the auto population of registered GTAs. They are uploading those RCM invoices, right? So, but what does not come in GSTR 2A RCM? What does not come? Import of service cannot come, right? Unregistered suppliers, it cannot come. Or if your supplier GT has forgotten to upload. So what I am saying is GSTR 2A RCM invoices will always be lower than self-assessment as per books, right? As per books तो हम लोग सब देखेंगे ना, बोलेंगे कि ये है, ये URD है, import है, ये import service, everything and all that. Here you have to do reconciliations. ITC 3B2A, major warning issue. Every assessee is receiving a notice regarding that. We are going to have more than 20-25 grounds of defenses, which I am going to discuss in the next few slides. Okay, for this. Short payment of TDS, TCS if you are making government supply. Okay. What is the government saying? Government is saying that the tax declared in 3B cannot be less than the net amount liable for TCS, TDS. 2% deduction happens, right? So that 2%, when you make it 100%, that is the supply which you made it to the government. How can that amount be more than the amount which you declared in 3B? So you have to do reconciliations for your government supplies as well. E-way bills, outward supply in 3B versus liability as per e-way bills. There are certain cases where e-way bills are not required. What are those cases, sir? Intrastate supply, less than 1 lakh rupees, value of goods plus GST. Interstate, 50,000, right? Value of goods plus GST. For liquidated damages, if taxable, credit notes, debit notes, rate differences, all of those will affect your GST turnover in 3B, na sir? How will it affect your e-way bill? E-way bill is only required for the movement of goods, right? There are cases where e-way bill is required, but it will not affect your GST turnover. You are issuing under delivery challan goods to your job worker. Is it a supply already? No, it is not a supply already. So there you have to issue an e-way bill. Otherwise, बीच में रास्ता में पकड़ लेगा, right? But there is no reporting in 3B. What I am trying to say, there will be differences, sir, between if the department says I have a record of e-way bill, आपने 1 करोड़ का सेल किया है e-way bill का, और आपका 3B में सेल दिखा रहा है सिर्फ 90 लाख रुपीस का, 10 लाख रुपया कहाँ गया आपका? So you have to do invoice level matching of this particular thing.
हमारे ऑडिट में भी एक
वो
क्वेश्चन
चीज तो ऐसा है सर कि ये सब जो चीज है हमारे हिसाब से गवर्नमेंट का भी इसमें फोकस करना चाहिए
सर
जब डिपार्टमेंट कर रहा है तो गलत कर रहा है हमारे हिसाब से
सर
कर रहा है तो गलत कर रहा है।
ये ऑडिट जब आता है ना सर,
हाँ।
तो ऑडिट में ये सब पॉइंट्स आपका रेज होता है।
हाँ।
आपको रिकॉन्सिलिएशन तभी हम लोग बोलते हैं जब 99C बना रहे हैं अपने, तो पूरा साल का रिकॉन्सिलिएशन अपने को करना
ये
है।
तो डिमांड करना ही नहीं चाहिए, ये भी तो ओनली फॉर द ओनली वे।
सर डिमांड अभी
है।
आपने ये जो अभी बोला है ना, ये पॉइंट आप सुन के हैरान हो जाएंगे आप। ये पिछला वाला पॉइंट आपको अनजस्टिफाइड लग रहा है, अनजस्टिफाइड है, ये पॉइंट आप सुनिए, बस ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड। आईटीसी ये सबसे बड़ा न्यूसेंस पॉइंट है सर ये। आईटीसी फ्रॉम सप्लायर्स हुज रजिस्ट्रेशन इज कैंसिल्ड रेट्रोस्पेक्टिवली। अब इसका मतलब क्या हुआ मैं बताता हूँ। 2018 में नोटिस, मतलब हाउ रिडिकुलस इज दिस सर। 2018 अक्टूबर आई परचेज इनवॉइस 100 रुपीज का मैंने इनपुट क्लेम किया। फास्ट फॉरवर्ड 4 years सर, अक्टूबर 2022 सेम सप्लायर जिंदा है, बिजनेस चल रहा है।
हो गया।
अब वो आदमी ने 6 महीना तक अपना GST 3B फाइल नहीं किया, कुछ भी कारण से सर, पैसा नहीं है, तबीयत खराब हो गया, बिजनेस नहीं करना है, कुछ भी कारण से हो गया, कोविड हो गया, कुछ भी हो गया, 6 महीना तक 3B फाइल नहीं किए, रजिस्ट्रेशन सर्टिफिकेट हैज बीन कैंसिल्ड। डेट ऑफ कैंसिलेशन क्या है सर? डेट ऑफ कैंसिलेशन अंडर सेक्शन 29 इज इन द पावर ऑफ द प्रॉपर ऑफिसर। इफ ही फील्स दैट fraudulent है, if he feels कि bogus है, if he feels कि whatever उनके दिमाग में है, he can cancel that registration not from October 1st, जब से ये violation start हुआ इनका 3B फाइल नहीं करने का, he will go to 1st July 2017। ये ridiculous point ये नहीं है, ridiculous point ये है सर कि आपने invoice लिया है, जो माल खरीदे आपने अक्टूबर 2018 में,
हमने लिया भी है, हमने पेमेंट भी
किया, सब चीज किया, बोनाफाइड ट्रांजैक्शन है। 4 साल बाद में जो गलती करते हैं उसको 5 साल पहले लेकर के कैंसिल कर देते हैं और बोलते हैं कि प्लीज रिवर्स योर इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट्स फॉर अ ट्रांजैक्शन व्हिच हैपेंड in October 2018 when what happened? Bona fide transaction, sir ने कहा bona fide transaction, genuine purchase transaction, payments have been made by a bank along with GST. Transactions were made before the actual date, not the actual date of cancellation. अरे सर cancellation हुआ अभी May 2023 में, मैंने 18 में माल खरीदा, मैंने वो कैसे, क्या मेरे को फर्क पड़ता है वो कौन, who is he, I don't know. So at the time of making the transaction, buying, he was active. I verified, I've done KYS.
Yes.
उनका सब चीज एक्टिव है, सब चीज everything active when ITC availed, compliance with statutory obligation to verify identity, validity, existence of the buyer, सब चीज ठीक था October 18 में. Please remember these are all the grounds of defenses. I'm not saying this. अपना Calcutta High Court in case of Sanchita Kundu, very important case law. Also this particular case law, LGW Industries Limited. These two case laws, they mention the same particular tenets or principles that अगर ये सब केसेस है आपका तो यू कैनॉट आस्क द रेसिपिएंट, जेन्युइन रेसिपिएंट, टू रिवर्स आईटीसी व्हेन एट दैट पॉइंट इन टाइम इन प्रीवियस ईयर, दैट पॉइंट इन टाइम वेयर देयर वाज नो प्रॉब्लम, he had done his KYS, you were active, you have what 4 conditions are there, sir? Can anyone tell me what were the 4 conditions at that point in time to claim input tax credit? Extremely important ground of defense. Under section 16 subsection 2 until 31st of December 2021 there were only 4 conditions to claim input tax credit. जितने भी रिप्लाईज है उसमें ये सबसे पहला पॉइंट अपने डालते हैं. पहला क्या है? The recipient has to have a copy of the invoice, exactly, invoice and the debit note. Second, the recipient should have actually received the goods and services in his principal or additional place of business. Third thing is the supplier who has collected tax from me, he should have deposited the tax to the government exchequer. That is section 16 subsection 2 clause C. And fourth is that the recipient should have filed his own GST-R3. If I have satisfied all these 4 conditions, nobody can stop input tax credit for me, even if it is not appearing in 2A. We are going to see those grounds of defenses. These are grounds of defenses because no such disqualifying condition in law. कौन सा है? ये कहाँ पर लिखा हुआ है कि आपको रिवर्स करना है? मेरे को पता नहीं, I don't know. ये तो कहीं पे लिखा नहीं है. My input tax credit so long as it is rightfully claimed, not wrongfully availed, it is not ineligible. Why will I reverse? And the government has to prove non-payment of tax. मैंने गवर्नमेंट को प्रूव करना है मेरे ऊपर में कि मैंने टैक्स पेमेंट नहीं किया. इनपुट का मेरे को करना है. सेक्शन 155 में burden of proof is on me. Tax is on the government, right? So these case laws are important. In fact, the courts have gone to one higher level. Just 2 months ago, 1.5 months ago, Delhi High Court has come up with this. आप लोग जैसे बोल रहे हैं, how can the proper officer go back in time and cancel that? Kindly do that only for the period of violation, na? Otherwise, it is an arbitrary order under section 29. यहाँ पर क्या लिखे है? In the case in question, the petitioner had filed returns regularly till June 2019. Why this is not justified for a retrospective cancellation from the date of registration initially granted? So this is not justified as per the court for the proper officers. This also we are going to discuss is a burning issue in the next slide onwards only. 2A 3B mismatch notices and notices received where the supplier has not made payment of GSTR in GSTR 3B. वो दो तो burning issues है, we are going to discuss in the next slide. These are the grounds of defenses. Extremely important next 10 slides where we can quote these particular case laws, grounds of defenses in our replies to these notices. No reply to notice of reversal of ITC when supplier has not paid tax. First thing, और मैंने साथ में ये भी लिखा हुआ है common case laws for ground of ITC mismatch और 2A and 3B, right? ये देखिए ये सब केस लॉज में 2-3 चीज कॉमन आता है, राइट? वो उसका रेफरेंस देते हैं, फेवरेबल आ जाता है. 2-3 things you need to understand. First thing is in case where the buyer is legitimate, he has not done any collusion with the supplier has defrauded payment of a GST, please go and catch the supplier first. Initiate recovery from the supplier, do section 79, do section 86A, attach his bank statements, do provisional attachment, catch him. Only in exceptional cases where the supplier is absconding, where the supplier does not have any assets, gone bankrupt, where the supplier is no more alive, where his business is not there anymore, or in the case of connivance or collusion or fraud, then only please resort to the last option of going to the genuine recipient and asking him to reverse his input tax rate, because it's a double whammy for him. फर्स्ट तो हम अपना जेब से पेमेंट करें उसको, GST, उसके बाद में अपने टैक्स क्लेम करे और उसके बाद में यू आर आस्किंग मी ओनली टू रिवर्स व्हेन ही वो अपना जेब गरम करके रखा ही हैज नॉट मेड द पेमेंट.
इसके अगेंस्ट में तो जजमेंट भी है कलकत्ता हाई कोर्ट.
There are many. Calcutta High Court judgment has come out in Suncraft Energy, last one.
Yes.
And in LGW, I'll discuss that, sir. So ये main मंत्रा है. ये सब में आप ये देखेंगे without first examining the supplier, please initiate recovery proceeding under the supplier, etc., etc. We can quote all of this. It's very popular case law. D.Y. Bethel Enterprises. Second is Honorable Chhattisgarh High Court. Here also only in exceptional circumstances जो मैंने अभी mention किया है, catch hold of the recipient who is genuine. Otherwise, please go and catch the particular supplier. This is also common ground for 2A 3B mismatch. Supreme Court judgment in Bharti Airtel, landmark in all the ways. The Supreme Court judgment in Airtel had a different object, but they did good to us in these notices. Reason being they have branded the term of GST 2A as facilitators, enablers of helping us determine our self-assessment tax when paying GST 3B. It is not a mandate that the invoice has to appear in 2A. Where is the condition? I told you, sir, section 16 subsection 2 has been categorically, unequivocally, explicitly clear up to 31st of December 2021, 4 conditions. If that is satisfied, 2A का काम है, matching का कहाँ पर law में लिखा हुआ है? Only a rule had come out, rule 36 sub rule 4. But how can the rule supervene your act, primary legislation? वो रूल खुद ही जूझ रहा है. इतने सारे केस लॉज मतलब कि जो अभी रिट्स फाइल हुए हैं, फाइनल सुप्रीम कोर्ट इज नॉट डिसाइडेड ऑन दैट. What does this case law say? 2A is an enabler, facilitator, facility. Right to claim input tax credit should not be rejected in case such credit does not appear in 2A 2B. 2A is a facilitator, functions, features, etc. ठीक है? So we can quote this particular case law. Honorable Calcutta High Court in LGW, in Anmol Industries, etc., etc. All of that they are saying, if your genuine transaction, bona fide transaction, made the payment, no fraud, nothing, etc. You've done your due diligence, then why? What is the problem? Delhi High Court Arise India, extremely popular. This one. A man cannot be forced to do something which he cannot do. Sir, would you categorize this as an impossible task? You going to your supplier every day and catching his collar and asking him, sir, whether have you filed GST 3B? Oh, sir, have you filed? So please show me the entire calculation. I want to see the 2 rupees which I have paid you, 20,000 whatever, against the supply which I have purchased. Have you made the 20,000 collected from me, made the payment in your 3B? How is that possible? That only the supplier and his accountant would be able to say, right? So that is an impossible task in the eyes of law. How can you ask someone to do something which is impossible? Something that is impossible. Law cannot predict or anticipate. The selling dealer may or may not deposit the tax collected to the government. Absence of any material evidence in the hands of Department of Collusion, as I've already told you. Now, if as sir said, purchasing dealer has done all the necessary steps to verify selling dealer, valid registration, proper tax invoice, goods have been received, so these particular cases can be cited. Honorable Bombay High Court Doctrine of Impossibility, which I was just talking about in Indian Seamless. A recipient cannot be expected to keep a track of whether the selling dealer has indeed deposited the tax so collected.
Just now I have received the judgment of the Kerala High Court.
Suncraft Energy.
ITC cannot be denied.
Exactly. Suncraft Energy, it came out in June. I'll just discuss that in the next slide. September 12. There is another case law which has come from Kerala High Court just yesterday, 12 September, as you were mentioning. Daya, some name is there. Here Bombay High Court. So you cannot, this is an impossible task, right? So this law phrase you can use, lex non cogent ad impossibilia, means a man cannot be asked to do something which is impossible. The decision of Honorable Punjab and Haryana High Court is also mentioned here. Law cannot anticipate a possible, virtual impossible eventuality. Decision of Honorable Calcutta High Court is mentioned here, right? So department has been vested with all the powers to catch hold of the defaulting supplier. Why are you coming to me first? Don't come to me first. Go to the supplier first. Initiate an investigation. Do everything which you are possible. If you are unable to recover, then please come to me. Calcutta High Court, as sir was mentioned, sir had just mentioned this Suncraft Energy Private Limited. This had come out last month only. Here it is categorically mentioned that GST department ought to have taken action against selling dealer, and until and unless it is an exceptional case. What are exceptional cases? Collusion, selling dealer is missing, closed down his business, does not have asset, considered contingency, then please come to me, right? Madras High Court, similarly everything out here is mentioned. KK Industries, Supreme High Court, this is also a very important landmark judgment. You cannot practically, it will be impossible for me to conduct my business. Every day I have to send my person to the selling dealer. Oh sir, you have filed your 3B. All that is not possible. Press release does not have any legal force, but it has a persuasive value. Okay. So press release dated this 4th of May 2018. It is mentioned also in the Council, GST Council 28 GST Council meeting. Automatic reversal of credit is not required to be done by the recipient in case the supplier has defaulted in payment of GSTR 3B or in GSTR 3B. Only in exceptional situations like same thing, missing dealer, closure of business, that please come to us. Press release is saying 1, 2, 3B. Anyone remembers 1, 2, 3 earlier? What used to happen? Earlier, this was always kept in abeyance. This was never activated. What used to happen, sir? The initial idea envisaged for GST. What was that? I am a seller. I am going to upload all my invoices in GSTR 1. It will automatically go to GSTR 2A of the recipient, right? It will go there. Then the recipient would add, modify, delete. He will have that opportunity. अरे सर, ये तो आपका B2C आप डाल दिए तो B2B था. मेरा कहाँ है, गायब हो गया, अमाउंट गलत है, इनवॉइस वैल्यू गलत है, प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई गलत है, प्लीज रेक्टिफाई. सो ही इज गोइंग टू फाइल इज GSTR 2 C and modify delete in GSTR 2A. It will auto populate in GSTR 1A of supplier. While filing the final GSTR 3 return, he is going to add, modify, delete again in 1A whatever the recipients have sent. So there are two opportunities of add, modify, delete that has been taken away by the department. Is that fair? That is not fair. So I am absolutely at the mercy of my supplier. If within 11th of the next month, if he has not uploaded my invoice in his GSTR 1, I am gone for that month, my capital has been blocked, working capital. So this can be the ground of defense. I've already mentioned there are few case laws here. I've already mentioned this unavailability of any window for us to see invoice-wise level matching, etc. Additional ground for cases of only 2A and 3B. Those were for 2A, 3B also, which I had mentioned. These are additional grounds. Sir, we have already discussed this. Extremely important. 4 conditions. Invoice, good services we should receive, supply should pay, and fourth, we need to file a 3B. If we have done that up to 31st December 2021, means 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, 20, 21, 21, 22, 20, 122 up to 31st of December 2021. This is valid, right? The precondition of the input tax credit being communicated in GSTR 1, appearing in GSTR 2B of the recipient, then you claiming it in 3B, all that came in from the 1st of January 2022 in the law itself as section 16 subsection 2 clause AA, right? The input tax credit is an indefeasible and vested right. Okay, it is not a constitutional right, but it is a benefit provided under the GST Act, but it is still indefeasible. We can quote these particular case laws for that. GSTR 2A, sir, when was it introduced? 17-18, was it there? No. While we were making 3B returns, it was not there. It only came in phase wise from September 2018, and later that was made available in a phased manner. When we were making returns at that point in time, we did not have access to our GSTR 1. Later on, when we were doing 99C, 2-3 years later, then we had access. Here again, sir, this is a very unique case law. Honorable Odisha High Court in Shiva Jyoti Construction, Calcutta High Court and TMC High Tech. What did it say? The court said, okay, you are saying that, okay, I accept. You are saying that in GSTR 2A, 2B it is not appearing, no problem. I am ordering the GST department to make a facility to open the portal for 17, 18, 18, 19 for the supplier, make amendment in GSTR 1, upload those missing invoices and rectify those missing invoices so that it appears today in GSTR 2B or 2A of the recipient and he claims it today. This was also a landmark judgment, you know. Here it's a revenue neutral situation. 1, 2, 3B I've already mentioned. It is kept in abeyance. The opportunity for add, modify, delete, all that has been taken away. Agrawal and Brothers is also case law recent 2 months ago. Saying the same thing, sir. Taxpayers should not bear the consequences of a supplier's mistake. Right? So these are so many. This is one of the most important slides again which I would like to mention. Next 2-3 slides are also extremely important. Sir, 2A, 3B mismatch cases, please hear properly. A circular called 183/15/2022 dated 27 December, this had come out. What does this say? Circular from the department. Sir, what is a circular? Circular is an order by CBIC which has to be complied by the GST officers. It is optional for us, but it has to be mandatorily complied by the GST officers, right? So this is a circular. It has legal value. In these 4 cases, we can get relief of 2A, 3B. What are these 4 cases and what do we have to do? First case, our supplier has not filed his GSTR 1 only. So invoice is not, obviously it cannot come in 2A. Second case, our supplier has filed his 1 and 3B, but he has missed out our invoices. It will not come in 2A to B. Third case, our supplier has filed his 1 and 3B, but instead of B2B transaction, he has shown my transaction as B2C. It is not appearing in 2A to B. Fourth situation, he has filed his GSTR 1 and 3B, but he has shown my invoice against some other GST. So my 2A to B will not be auto-populated with that. What does the department say? Department says that we are, sir, no problem. If the mismatch of 2A and 3B is more than 5 lakh rupees for one particular party, I am saying, for one particular party, for 17, 18, 18, 19, sir, these 2 years only. Later on, I will tell you another circular has come out. This is only for 17, 18, 18, 19. If 5 lakh rupees mismatch more than 5 lakh rupees between 2A and 3B, what are you supposed to do? You go to a chartered accountant or a CMA and you get a certificate. What is written in the certificate format is provided, I will show you.
Certificate from vendor.
Certificate from vendor will be in the case when it is lesser than 5 lakh.
Yes.
Less than 5 lakh. This is also from vendor. Vendor you can get, but it has to be certified by CA and CMA because value is of a higher amount, right? What does the CA have to or the vendor have to certify? That I have actually provided the supply of goods. Second, I have made the payment of the tax collected from the recipient. I have made it to the government exchequer. In these 2 things, he has to write in the particular format which I will show. If the tax mismatch is more than 5 lakh rupees for that particular one party for 17, 18, 18, 19, get that certificate, get it attested, show it to the department. He will verify whether it is block credit, whether it is time barred, etc., and he will drop the proceeding in regard to this point. Sir has said if it is up to 5 lakh rupees mismatch for one particular party, 2A, 3B for 17, 18, 18, 19 only, you can get the certificate from the vendor itself. Where he is mentioned, what is he mentioned? This is the certificate. Where is he mentioned? This paragraph does not pertain to us. In respect of the invoices, he has not filed his GSTR 1. No, he has filed. So I will delete this paragraph. Here it is mentioned he has filed 1 and 3B, but he has missed my invoices. I will keep this because this is my case. I will remove all the other paragraphs. Right? This is the particular format. So what will happen here? If I receive this particular certificate from the supplier, I am going to give it to my proper officer only in ongoing proceedings of scrutiny, audit, investigation, that this can be availed. मेरा केस खत्म हो गया, पैसा पेमेंट कर दिया, सब बैठ गए, उसके बाद में नोटिफिकेशन सर्कुलर आई कम टू नो प्लीज ओपन द केस, रिवाइव द केस. नो, it will not happen. Case closed, once closed, is closed. Okay. You can use this, however, for ongoing cases, right? This is the amendment. Circular number 193/05/2023. This is 183, 193. Okay. This came out 1.5 months ago. Extremely important for us for the period from 1st April 2019 till 31st December 2021. 21, sir, because from 1st January 2022, your section 16 subsection 2 clause AA came.
21.
So because so till 21 we have to see, sir, for that period. So how many financial years are covered? 1920, 2021, 21, 22 up to 31st December 2022. What does it say, sir? See this example, sir. Everything will be clear. This I've broken up. Okay, why broken up? Because of Rule 36 sub Rule 4. When did Rule 36 sub Rule 4 come? What is the rule say? Do we remember? Rule 36 sub Rule 4 came, it mentioned if you have 3 lakh rupees in 2A, no problem, sir. I understand the plight. I will allow you 20% additional credit for that particular month. For which period? From 1st of April, from 9th of October to 31st of December. I'm going to apply. Okay. Let us see one by one. 1st April 19 to 8th October. That time whether the rule was there. Whether section 16 subsection 2 clause AA was there, that too is out of question because it came from 1st January 2022. But whether Rule 36 sub Rule 4 was there or not, no. It came on 9th of October 2019. So this period is so exempted, full benefit. What is the benefit? 3 lakh comes in 2A. 2 lakh worth of suppliers, they've not uploaded. I've done self-assessment, correct, 5 lakh rupees I've claimed. 2 lakh rupees, I can take the undertaking from my vendor, all the vendors combined. It is not per vendor. This is for my entire period in this example. So 2 lakh rupees for 20 vendors, 20,000, 5,000, 10,000, 2,000. I can go to my vendors, I can get the certificate from them. And I can claim this 2 lakh rupees for this period only. For the next period, 9th October, now from 9th October, the benefit becomes partial. It is not full benefit. What is the partial benefit from 9th October to 31st December 2019? Sir, 3 lakhs I am allowing. That I'm allowing. But 20% or more I am allowing. So 3,60,000 worth of input tax credit you were eligible to claim at that point in time. Correct or no? Correct. You had claimed 5 lakh. So it is a mistake from that time only. You have to reverse 1,40,000. How can I allow you 5 lakh rupees now? By some circular notification or this certificate? No. अरे आपका हक बनता है 3,60,000 का ही. आप 5 लाख कैसे claim कर सकते? You cannot claim 5 lakh rupees. This is wrong. So 3,60,000. So declaration can be filed for only the additional amount of 60,000 and 1,40,000 no benefit as per this circular. Similarly, this is what, sir? 20%. It reduced to 10% in 2020 COVID period. तो 3 लाख रुपया 2A में आया. 3,30,000 तक आप क्लेम कर सकते थे पूरे साल. आपने क्लेम किया सर 5 लाख. ये तो गलत है. So now at this point in time, the department will say ठीक है 3 लाख तो मैं छोड़ रहा हूँ because 2A में है आपका. 30,000 भी मैं छोड़ सकता हूँ because that was your legible credit at that point in time. But I will not allow you 1,70,000 because you have violated the rule. But ये सब चीज contest हो सकता है with all those grounds of defenses which I mentioned, right? ये तो एक circular का बात कर रहा हूँ मैं. This is a circular, right? But you can contest. You will say no, sir. Full 5 lakh rupees. I am eligible because matching with 2A was not a condition up to 31st December 2022. Try to understand, sir. 2021. This I am explaining as per the circular. Department जो छुट्टा free में दे रहा है. मतलब कि आपको 30,000 दे रहा है, 3 लाख दे रहा है, ये डिपार्टमेंट क्लियरली दे रहा है. You have to fight for 1,70,000. But you can easily fight because you have all those case laws and everything. 1st January 2021 to December 21, 5% provisional credit, right? So 3 lakh था, 3 lakh 15. For only 15,000 we can claim. Now from 1st January 2022 onwards, this amount is 0. Sir, why? Because from 1st January 2022, the Act only has amended, na? Rule section 16 subsection 2 clause AA says that whatever amount is in your 2B, you have to claim in that period. Nothing else. So here there is no question of undertaking. Practical challenges of applicability of circular. Sir, we are talking about audit last month for 18, 19, 19, 20 for instance. They are saying कि आप मेरे को सर्टिफिकेट लाई थी. सर 6 साल पुराना ट्रांजैक्शन पहले तो खोजे, उसके बाद में चेज दैट पर्टिकुलर वेंडर. If I'm not in good terms, if he's closed his business, he's not available, not cooperative, if he's passed away during COVID, whatever, n number of reasons. This is very practically challenging. Secondly, with CA sir, in the same mind, without checking the books of the supplier, whether he's actually made the payment to the government, he is going to put his signature. Very risky. Very risky. He's going to put his signature, oh, the supplier has actually paid to the government and supplier has given the supplier. Supplier has given the supplier availability, all that fine. But he's made the payment. He's filed his 3B, but do we know whether he's made the payment actually or not against my supplier? No, we don't know. It's very risky. This is the certificate which I format I've shown you.
What will be happen?
Sir,
if
this
if the CA or the vendor will not give the certificate?
Sir, in case
as per the circular 183 and 190.
in case the CA more than 5 lakh rupees it is there, the CA will ask you for a list of documents. If you were to come to me and ask me that sir, मेरा 5 lakh रुपया का difference है for this particular vendor, I have to attest it with my signature and UDIN that the supplier has actually paid that 5 lakh rupees to the government.
Correct.
If I am satisfied that the supplier has paid, I will get one undertaking from him that okay, I have paid the payment and my GSTR 3B copy is here, my GSTR 1 copy is here, kindly just match. My working is there. If he is a cooperative vendor, the CA may be cooperative with you, but without the document, it is very difficult for professionals to put their signature without them having the full details. Just out of emotions or something, this can backfire on you and backfire on the professional itself. So this is a challenging area, is basically what I am saying. ITC on returns filed post due. So for 17-18, what was the extended due date of filing GSTR 3B for which you could claim the input last date? It was 23rd of April 2019. It was extended. And for GSTR 1, it was 13th of April 2019. For 22-23 and onwards, what is it? 30th November. Up to 30th November 2023, we can claim any input pertaining to 22-23 without litigation. We've already discussed this point in our discussion, sir. Please note down these points, they're very important. ITC on import of goods. If ITC as per import of goods not appearing in table 10 of GSTR 2A, still BOE is the document. 2A is not the document, sir. BOE is the document. Show your BOE. Say that, sir, my IGST challans, BOE, etc. Everything is there. Please allow me. Also, this particular circular 123/42/2019, extremely important. Clearly mentions full ITC in respect of IGST paid on import documents issued under RCM, any document under RCM, credit received from ISD or import these 3-4 cases, you don't have to check 2A, you don't have to check 2B. Even Rule 36 sub Rule 4, which is amended now, it mentions any invoice which is liable to be filed under GSTR 1 by a particular taxpayer. So this particular case will not be covered. Means if it is not available in 2A also, you can, even in cases of refund, this does not need to appear in 2A. You need to make payment of RCM, you need to claim that, right? So no questions asked. Reversal, sir, for exporters, we need to understand ITC reversal we do proportionate for what? For turnover, exempt turnover divided by total turnover into common ITC. We do that, right? Now we need to understand what is exempt turnover. For last time also I had mentioned this. This was clarified by the notification 14/2022. Sale of duty credit scrips, SEIS, MEIS. It is not considered as taxable, not considered even exempt supply. You don't have to pay GST on that, but not considered exempt supply also. If it is not considered exempt supply, do you have to reverse proportionately ITC? No. So kindly make this point in case if the department during audit they mention this, you can quote this. Payment of interest under 50, sir. One primary thing you need to understand. If I am making delayed payment of delayed filing of GSTR 3B by 10 days, for instance, August 3B, I filed on.
But license sale is exempted sale, na?
Yes, exempted sale, no sir. License sale is not an exempted sale, not a GST sale.
Not a GST sale, but exempted.
No sir, no sir.
As per GST, you have to declare in the GSTR 1.
Sir, you have to declare in GSTR 1, but it is not a GST exempt sale also. This has been clarified by notification number 14/2022 dated 5th July 2022. It is categorically mentioned. Sir, what problem was happening as sir had raised? Earlier duties, sale on duty credit scripts and all of that, they were charging GST on that. Then they said no, it is not GST, etc., etc.
Yes.
They said okay, fine, but it is exempt supply. If it is exempt supply during audit, they are saying oh, exempt supply 200 rupees total supply, total turnover 5,000 rupees.
Yes.
200 divided by 5,000 into total credit. Please do reversal because this is exempt supply as per Rule 42, 43. We have to do proportionate reversal of input tax credit proportionate to the exempt supply. There were big problem. Notices were coming left and right. Then this particular notification came out. Last year we had discussed at this forum also.
Ultimately, you have to show the income.
Sir, no, sir. Right from
you have to show the income in the balance sheet also.
Sir, you have to show the income in the balance sheet, but the department. This is retrospective from 1st July 2017. Please try to understand the benefit which this notification is given. It is not prospective from 5th of July 2022. Retrospective. Retrospective means not an exempt supply. Exempt supply बोलने का इसीलिए क्योंकि reversal नहीं करना. We don't have to reverse the input tax credit, and it is not. You don't have to pay GST on this. Now this particular point, section 50 interest, extremely important to understand the concept. First thing is in case if GSTR 3B is filed delayed, 20th September is the due date, which was yesterday for August 3B for monthly filers. I filed it on 30th September. My bill. 10 days. What will I pay? Interest under section 50, subsection 1 at 18% per annum on what? Gross tax liability or net tax liability? Net tax liability. The benefit is given to us. What is net tax liability? 18% का tax है 180 रुपया. Input ही मेरा 1000 रुपया है. तो कोई tax ही नहीं है. I don't have to pay tax in cash apart from the RCM amount. So I don't have to make any payment of interest in that case. Where the benefit is there if 3B is filed delayed. But sir, if the bill is dated in April 2022, you forgot the bill entirely to disclose and make the payment either in 1 or 3B. Or say 1 you disclose but 3B you did not mention. You are coming and disclosing this bill and making the payment in the month of September or October, November 2022 in 3B. So now whether this benefit will be given to you, interest will be calculated on the gross tax liability on those 2-3 missed invoices or on the net tax liability, considering we have enough credit for the month of September, October, November. No sir, this benefit will not be given. You have to pay interest under section 50, subsection 1 at the rate of 18% per annum on the gross tax liability on the missed out invoices which pertain to a different period, but we have disclosed it in different period and made payment of tax. The government will not give you the benefit of withholding the government's money for that long. So I've given some examples here. You can refer to that. Payment of late fees, there was a rationalization from 2022-23 onwards for GSTR 9 delayed filing, right? Up to 20 crores and up to 5 crores. Earlier it was 0.2% it was of the total turnover maximum late fee. But now this has been reduced to only 0.04% maximum, which late fees you have to pay, and per day only 50 rupees. This is rationalized basically. For turnover which is more than 5 crores, it is 100 per day but limited to 0. We can avail this benefit. Now, further issues during departmental audits are extremely important. Next 5-7 slides pertaining to our exporter community only. These are additional during only departmental or not scrutiny, because these are as per the books. Sir, have we ever witnessed during GST audit, the department is asking us of the ledgers of our sundry creditors. Why do they want? And they want your bank statements. And they don't want just your bank statement, they expect your cooperation to highlight those transactions where you made payment to all these vendors. Why? Because they want to make their own task easy, and they want to see ledger wise if you have made violation of this particular proviso, second proviso to section 16 subsection 2 and rule 37. Why? 180 days from the date of any invoice, if you have made payment after 180 days, sir, interest will be leviable. From where? From the, for example, it is the bill of April 2022. I have a purchase bill. I have availed the input tax credit. I have not made payment until 30th October. 6 months have passed. In November, in 3B, I have to temporarily reverse, right? As per this particular rule, I have to reverse temporarily in table 4B2. I have already explained. But interest, sir, interest I have to make payment in cash. How will I make from where? I have to make payment from 20th May 2022, due date of April GSTR 3B, till the date of reversal, which is November 20th 2022. I have to make the payment of this. Now what will happen? Once I make the payment of the full value of supply and the GST portion to the particular vendor, say 2-3 months later, I can re-avail the entire input which I have temporarily reversed. Now sir, major question, I have one question. If, for instance, this particular 6 months, this reversal happened basically, as I told you, in the month of November 2022. I made the payment to the vendor in December 23. This is after 30th November. 30th November 2023. Why is it important? Because as the last date to claim input tax credit pertaining to 22-23. But sir, this reclaiming of input tax credit, which we have reversed in 4B2, due to this has no time barring. As per section 16 subsection 4, huge benefit to us. We make the payment 10 years later to the vendor. We raise this particular amount in our, we keep the amount, we don't write it off in our books. We make payment 10 years later. I have reversed it, then I paid the interest also. That period is blocked, finished. I will reclaim it 10 years later in table 4A5 and report it in table 4D1. Because section 16 subsection 4, which time bars, means after 30th November you cannot take, it does not apply in these cases. But sir, why to go through so much of harassment? These are few grounds which I have taken for my clients in notices. Extremely technical, but there are no proven case law, judicial precedents to fight. But these are still few grounds of defenses which can be mentioned. Now, for example, here it is recipient fails to pay. What does the law say? Law says that if the recipient fails to pay to the supplier within 180 days. Sir, what is fails to pay? My contract with my supplier is I will make payment 2 years later. I will make payment construction contract, or for dispute I will hold 10%. I will not make full payment. I have a contract with my supplier. It can be more than 6 months. How can sir GST law dictate a contract that I have to make payment in 6 months? Failure to pay can only come out of a contractual obligation. I am violating some obligation or deadline. That can only come out of a contract. I can take this ground of defense, which can be, cited by all these case laws. RCTC, Calcutta Road, here it says word failure means non-fulfillment of obligation imposed. Failure to pay when due under a contractual obligation. So I can show that I have a contract with my particular supplier. I will make payment after 6 months. Second thing, sir, up to 1st October 2022, we can again take this ground that before this amendment, 1st October 2022, the law asked us to make payment, add it to your output tax liability in GSTR 2 along with interest and make the payment. Where is GSTR 2? Nobody has seen the light of day of GSTR 2. So I can quote these Supreme Court judgments and say, where any statute prescribes the manner in which it is to be done, it must be done in that manner only. When GSTR 2 is not there, how will I reverse? But they are going to argue, they will be like, oh no, you have to reverse in GSTR 3, and an annual return in table 7 is there for reversal. All those things will be there, but we can still quote this. Without machinery, the main charging section will fail. Here, legislative intent cannot be of earning interest, sir. Law cannot have a legislative interest of earning interest. यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा है? Delayed payment कर रही है. 6 महीना में payment नहीं किए, 9 महीना में किए. तो reversal नहीं करना है अपने को, because we have already made the payment to the government, but 3 months interest we have to pay. So now clients are getting notices of only payment of interest for 3 months because of delayed payment. No reversal because you have already made the payment. If till today you have not made the payment, then you will do ITC reversal, right, along with applicable interest. So it has been reduced to money making for interest. How can that be the legislative intent? This was introduced because to curb anti-evasion, as an anti-evasion measure, to curb the fake invoices nuisance, so that within 6 months it is paid. So we can quote all of these. In service tax regime, we had few case laws where it is mentioned that if you have already made the payment, if the supplier has already made the payment to the government exchequer, they cannot invoke. This is a revenue neutral situation. Sir, where is the loss to the government? My supplier has already made the payment. I have not made payment to my supplier. It's between the two of us. You have to got your money. Or if I made delayed payment to my supplier has paid it to the government. So now you just want to earn interest. So it is a revenue neutral situation. Secondly, if in audit, this is a very important point. If in audit this point is being caught, they are issuing notices under section 74. Blindly, sir, blindly. This is not a case of fraud. How can it be fraud? Where is the suppression? You know my bank statements, you know my details, whatever. Where is the tax involved? It is just delayed payment of interest. If just payment of interest, how can you invoke penalty? There cannot be any fraud, right? So you can take these grounds. This is a very common thing. IGST paid instead of CGST, SGST. Sir, गलती हो गया. Interstate था, interstate का payment कर दिया. So we can make these adjustments in our GSTR 3B, obviously. So this is very important. Try to understand this section 77 and section 19. This is evergreen section. Okay, this is not just for abhi time bar ho jayega. No. What is it saying, sir? It is saying you have made the payment of IGST by mistake. You should have paid CGST and SGST. Now, it is saying, see this example. First, let us see what does the government say. The government says that you make the correct payment of CGST and SGST today. So you made double payment, incorrect IGST payment, correct CGST, SGST payment today. You made payment 2 times. You will get refund, right? You have to apply for refund of this incorrect IGST paid. What is the time barring for this? Time barring is when you make the correct tax payment of CGST, SGST today, 2 years from now. Or there is a notification which has come out, date of that, whichever is later. I will show you by example. Try to understand. Proper officer has caught this transaction. By mistake, I have paid CGST, SGST, subsequently held to be paid IGST. I had to pay IGST, I paid CGST, SGST. When? In 2018. Caught by the officer in 2019-20. I made the correct payment on the 10th of May 2019. What? IGST. But I have paid CGST, SGST also. What about that? I will get refund. Refund, time barring when? It will be later of the 2 dates. When? 2 years from 2019, 10th May, or 2 years from the time this notification came. Benefit only came 2 years later. You are going to add 2 years from now. 1 year of benefit is gone. So we here later of the 2 days, the notification benefit came on 24th September 2021. 2 years from there, because the date of correct payment was before the date of notification. So 23/9/2023, it will be, you can apply for refund of the incorrect tax paid. Similarly, in this particular case, you can see after issuance of notification, this particular date is, correct payment is 10th of November. So here 2 years from the later date, from 10th of November 2022 when you made the correct payment. So 2024, up to then you can claim the incorrect IGST. IGST credit availed instead of CGST, SGST. That was tax. भूल से IGST पेमेंट कर दी जब CGST, SGST करना था, तो इनपुट में भी तो गलती हो सकता है. I have claimed IGST credit instead of CGST and SGST. What will happen, sir? So we can definitely adjust it up to 30th of November in our 3B. That is there. You can refer to this circular 2626. Now, sir, what is the most which we can do? 30th November निकल गया. 99C में कर सकते हैं, नहीं कर सकते, sir? 99C, it is recommended that कि आप उसको table 6 of annual return, if you remember, it is bifurcation of input tax credit claimed in 3B. So, sir, you have claimed this input. All 4 conditions satisfied. Invoice है, माल आया है, सब चीज है. Wrong head में procedural lapse की वजह से भूल से गलती से ले लिए, but it is nowhere not ineligible, nowhere incorrectly claimed. So we can take these grounds.
9 को रेक्टिफाई कर ही सकते हैं ना, उसको 9 को रेक्टिफाई कर,
9 को रेक्टिफाई कर सकते हैं, लेकिन आपका मिसमैच आएगा 3B और 9 के साथ में, और स्क्रूटनी नोटिस में आपका ये आएगा, ये आएगा, तो ये आएगा, उसके बाद में फिर हैरेसमेंट होता है उसमें, because 9 you cannot claim
by mistake हो गया.
Exactly, sir.
तो 9 में तो हम कर ही सकते हैं.
9 में आप कर सकते हैं. आपका जैसे कि ये तो आपका हेड चेंज हो रहा है. आप बात समझिए, जो IGST का भूल से अगर क्लेम कर लेते हैं, IGST क्रेडिट कैन बी यूज्ड टू सेट ऑफ IGST, CGST, SGST, और CGST, SGST था, अगर वो क्लेम करते हैं तो बेनिफिट आपको मिलता नहीं. SGST के साथ सेट ऑफ करने का CGST, CGST का SGST, तो आप ज्यादा बेनिफिट लिए सर, उसका जुर्माना दीजिए. harsh. It is harsh. You can argue on these things. Ki the government cannot take undue benefit by the government cannot take should not unjustly enrich itself due to inadvertent errors made in return. और यहाँ पर आप देखिए taxes were corrected paid, मतलब कि मैंने टैक्स करेक्टली पे किया है, इनपुट भी करेक्टली क्लेम किया है, जस्ट हेड में गलती हुआ है, सो इट इज फाइन, यू नो. सो आप इसको क्या कर सकते हैं कि टेबल 6 में करेक्ट करके मेक डिस्क्लोजर्स इन 9C एंड लेट्स सी व्हाट हैपेंस इन द फ्यूचर. दिस इज द मोस्ट वी कैन डू. लिक्विडेटेड डैमेजेस. सर एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है, मेरा माल मेरे को बेचना है 100 टन, मैं बना करके बेचूंगा, बिजनेस बंद हो गया, जो माल खरीद रहा था इज शॉप शट due to something, but the contract is there, and the contract he says he has to make payment within 180 days. The contract is there, he has to receive this particular thing, and there is also a liquidated damages clause कि आपको इतना जुर्माना देना पड़ेगा, legal injury, loss, damages, etc. Whether that is chargeable to GST or not. 6 years dispute. Abhi it has been clarified on 3rd of August 2022 by this circular, extremely important circular. It mentions any contract where the actual object is that of execution of business and not of to tolerate an act or to refrain from any act. जैसे non-compete fees, I am refraining from an act or I am tolerating. So अगर वही contract है of non-compete fees कि आपका refraining or tolerating an act, then liquidated damages or whatever amount will be considered as consideration. In normal contract it will be not. The reasons are the contract is entered माल खरीदने बेचने का between two parties for execution, not for its breach. So accordingly, liquidated damages are not the desired outcome. So it will be only considered as a mere flow of income, money. It will not constitute as consideration for supply and not taxable. अब इसमें आप बोल सकते हो सर कि आपका एक कॉन्ट्रैक्ट लेकर के वो बाइफरकेट कर सकते हैं क्या आर्टिफिशियली. मेन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट क्लॉज क्या है? माल खरीदना है, बेचना है, टाइम में इतना पेमेंट में करना है, लेकिन छोटा सा क्लॉज है विच इज लिंक टू द मेन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, मेन क्लॉज, वो है लिक्विडेटेड डैमेजेस का. अब डिपार्टमेंट बोलते हैं कि मैं इसको संधि विच्छेद कर दूंगा, आई विल ब्रेक इट आर्टिफिशियली एंड आई विल ट्रीट दिस liquidated damages clause as an independent contract. No, I cannot do that, because in our opinion, even if there is a stipulation in contract for liquidation damages, same cannot be read as an independent divisible contract as long as it is integrally linked to the performance of the main contract. Concept समझ में आया सर ये वाला मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? For liquidated damages कोई भी तरीके से अगर अपना लीगल तरीके से लीगल इंजरी हुआ है, माल नहीं दे पाए, कुछ पेमेंट में डिले हो गया, पेनल्टी लगा, उसमें कॉन्ट्रैक्चुअल में अगर इट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ द मेन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, तो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अपने लिक्विडेटेड डैमेजेस मतलब कि अर्न करने के लिए नहीं करते. दैट इज नॉट द ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, इट इज अ पार्ट व्हिच इज लिंक्ड टू द मेन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. सो वो केसेस में लीगल इंजरी का कोई रेसिप्रोसिटी ऑफ कंसिडरेशन नहीं है, राइट? सो इट इज ओनली कंसिडर्ड एज अ मियर फ्लो ऑफ मनी, नो जीएसटी टू बी चार्ज एज पर दिस सर्कुलर. Also there is a case law, Bombay High Court, in this Mammu Bai Trust, where it is mentioned that GST is not payable on damages compensations paid for a legal injury. The principle laid down is that such payment does not have the necessary quality of reciprocity. जो मैं ये बोला. This is very important because in GST audits we are seeing liquidated damages का इन लोग left and right they are asking us to pay 18%. Under HSN 9998 or something like that is there, but this circular can come to your rescue. सर ये तो अपने इंजीनियरिंग लोग का हो ही गई. मोल्ड्स एंड डाइज, वी हैव टू मेक मोल्ड्स एंड डाइज इन आवर फैक्ट्री फॉर व्हाट? फॉर एक्सपोर्ट ऑर्डर टू द फॉरेन एक्सपोर्टर, ओरिजिनल OEM, ओरिजिनल ये एक्सपोर्ट मैन्युफैक्चरर मोल्ड एंड डाइज बनाते हैं फैक्ट्री में. सो व्हाट विल हैपन? वी आर गोइंग टू रेज एन इनवॉइस टू द फॉरेन फॉरेन कस्टमर, मींस फॉरेन दिस पर्सन कस्टमर, ही विल मेक द पेमेंट, वी आर गोइंग टू शो इट एज एन एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ सेल, खत्म. नो, दिस इज रॉन्ग, दिस इज रॉन्ग. So many clients are doing that. Crores and crores of money. Molds and dies एक टाइम बनाती है, 10,000 टन बनाना है माल अपने को, उससे प्लास्टिक का बनाना है, इंजीनियरिंग का बनाना है, एक्सेट्रा, बट दे शो इट एज एक्सपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स. नो, जीएसटी ऑडिट में पकड़ करके दे आर आस्किंग CGST, SGST, interest, penalty up to 25%. For what? Do tax planning, which is mentioned here. First, let us understand why is this not an export of goods? Why is it not an export of goods? Export of goods का मतलब क्या हुआ? माल एक्चुअल में इंडिया का टेरिटरी से बाहर गया है, तभी तो एक्सपोर्ट होएगा सर. माल कहाँ बाहर गया? फैक्ट्री का गेट से भी बाहर नहीं गया. So this particular section 2, clause 5, as is particularly mentioned, it cannot be an export. It has not been taken outside India. Place or supply. Export का 5 conditions है. Can anyone tell me? First condition, service provider India, service recipient outside India, place or supply outside India, foreign currency received. Fifth, the supplier and the recipient, they cannot be merely distinct persons. मतलब एक पैन में दो एंटिटी जीएसटी नहीं हो सकते, मतलब अपना पार्टी नहीं होना चाहिए, वो बाहर का कोई अनएसोसिएटेड पार्टी होना चाहिए, वो those are 5 conditions. Place of supply in molds and dies which never move out of the factory. It is the place where the recipient takes handover of this. Recipient है मेरा चाइना में, handover कहाँ है? फैक्ट्री में. मैं अपना फैक्ट्री में notionally artificially उसको handover कर रहा हूँ, बना करके उसको दे रहा हूँ. So it is the place of supply is the location of such goods at the time of delivery, which is my factory. Place of supply in India, माल बाहर नहीं जा रहा, एक्सपोर्ट कहाँ से हुआ? So what is the tax which you have to pay? Place of supply in Bengal. I am registered in Bengal supplier. What? IGST or CGST? SGST? CGST, SGST on the entire amount of molds and dies. बहुत बड़ा मतलब की प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है. Here there are 7-8 different very complicated tax planning and all as per the contract, जो initial contract से करना पड़ेगा. Few I have mentioned here because of paucity of time. What we can do is अगर कोई तरीके से अपने दिखा सकते हैं कि this is a supply of service, molds and dies का fabrication, designing, prototype, कुछ भी बोल करके that 80-90% principal supply is that of service. Goods का थोड़ा सा कम है, सिर्फ मतलब उसको चिपकाना है etc. Supply of service rules. Place of supply is recipient who is outside India. It is an export of service. There's a problem at गया. But this particular arrangement जितना भी contract में करे, this again is being challenged. This has been challenged in Precision Camshafts Limited. लेकिन इसका भी bypass है etc. Second, supply as a composite supply. Composite supply करे अपने खाओ, जो अपना डाइज एंड मोल्ड्स का जो सप्लाई है प्लस जो कंपोनेंट्स का सप्लाई कर रहे हैं अपने जो माल बेच रहे हैं, वो दोनों को मिलाकर के एक अपनी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बना देते हैं. प्रिंसिपल सप्लाई होगा अपना माल का जो जा रहा है एक्सपोर्ट के लिए. इफ दैट इज अंडर एलयूटी, दैट इज पेमेंट ऑफ आईजीएसटी, इसका भी ट्रीटमेंट हो सकता है टैक्स कंपनी ले सके वैसे. दैट आई कैन हैव इट अंडर एलयूटी, आई डोंट हैव टू पे टैक्स.
No, actually in my case, from earlier to industry I am talking. In my case, what happened? By paying by euro or by USD dollar, paying the cost of pattern making charges. We are making pattern from local party. We are paying the amount to the local party and receiving the payment from foreign buyers, from foreign customer. So that
This
payment
is
making charges we are realizing.
Sorry?
That is our income.
What income in nature of what?
Pattern making charges.
Pattern making charges.
Pattern making.
So you're making pattern making charges, you're showing it as export of
We
supply.
are making the pattern from the local party, getting the pattern from local party, receiving, and then we are raising the bill, debit note to the foreign buyer.
So in this case, you're showing it in your balance sheet as export of service.
Not export service, pattern making charges.
Yes, sir. Pattern making charges what? Are you charging GST on this?
Export of service.
The export of service you will have to show, na?
Export of service.
Export of
Sir,
service.
you will have to show it as export of service,
Export of
showing that this is actually export of service.
Yeah.
But is your contract with your foreign manufacturer? It is as such that this will not be challenged, as in the case of Precision Camshafts. You can check this particular case law. This has similar facts and circumstances as you are saying, and this has been challenged, and the person has had to pay tax. This is not that easy, is what I am saying. This requires deliberation in certain clauses which you have to make with your foreign buyer initially in the contract with them.
And there is a contract. There is a contract.
This can be challenged, is what I am saying, sir. This particular export of service, they can always say that this cannot be the principal supply. Service can never be a principal supply in molds and dies. How can it be principal supply?
Yeah.
Where is it is tangible? I can see mold and इतना ढांचा इतना बड़ा है. Supply service क्या है? Service, he will say it is lesser than 50%. The principal supply is the supply of goods, which is molds and dies. Molds and dies जैसे बोलेगा वैसे आपका export हुआ नहीं, because माल इंडिया से बाहर गया ही नहीं है. Service क्या है? वो तो intangible है. And second, place of supply rules in your factory. It can be turned around, is what I am saying, sir. That we have to make it airtight with tax planning. As per there are many other things, right? These are denial of credit alleging blocked under section 17 subsection 5, sir. GST audit में sale promotion, GST audit में air travel, hotel accommodation, ITC चले गए, माया चले गए, यहाँ पर चले गए, we'll show कि we have some confidence. So we have to convince the officer that there is an excess in establishment with the business, that it is furthering the cause of the business. For air travel, employee लोग के लिए खर्चा उसके ऊपर में हो रहा है, etc. Hotel accommodation, we can cite these case laws. These can be our legitimate expenses for GST turnover. ITC avoided a sale, sir, very grey area. Sale promotion, घड़ी खरीद के बेच दिए, घर में रख लिए और दिखाए sale promotion है. Can we do that? We can't do that. Ideally, that is a block rate for personal consumption. But if you are giving TV fridge for sale promotion to your dealers, what are you expecting out of your dealers? More sale, more consideration on which he's paying GST. So this embedded costing also, buy one get one free. What is it? Free mein thodi dete hai, sir. We add a particular portion of the cost or the full cost or at cost in the embedded pricing of the actual principal supply, right? So what is happening? That cost is already added. GST is being charged on that. So why reversal of input on gifts per se? It is just what? You are just giving a gift. So there you cannot claim input. Or if you have claimed, you have to reverse. But sales promotion, there is a intrinsic, notional, whatever you say, consideration for more sales. So we can always take these grounds of defenses and we do not have to reverse ITC in business promotion expenses. Very important, sir. Bahut confusion hai. Professionals also get confused. This one slide can save you lakhs and lakhs of rupees during GST audit. 3 principles we need to understand. Immovable property के ऊपर में अगर कुछ भी goods के सर्विस करते हैं, construction, renovation, upgradation, जो भी अपने चीज करते हैं, if we capitalize it, आज पेंट करते पुताई करते हैं अपना बिल्डिंग का, capitalize कर देते हैं अपने उसको, मानिए बहुत बड़ा अमाउंट हो गया. It is construction or renovation in the nature on immovable property. This is blocked under section 17(5). But if you expense it, if you expense it in repair maintenance, if you expense it in business expenses, etc., you can claim input tax credit. It's extremely important. First point. Second point, for plant and machinery and for movable goods, ये movable है. What is movable goods? Disassembled and dismantled. Can this be disassembled and dismantled without creating a lot of loss or damage to this? No. This furniture fixture, this can be undone. This can be taken, knocked down condition, right? So movable or plant and machinery. Plant and machinery क्या है? HVAC, lifts, water plant, all of that, even if capitalized, it is not block credit. टेबल खरीदा, कैपिटलाइज कर दिया उसको फर्नीचर फिक्चर में, still you can claim input tax credit. What is the problem? This is the difference. Very few people, even in the business, they understand. You need to have clear-cut understanding what is movable, what is not movable, or whether you are capitalizing or whether you are expending it. If you are expending your in the nature of goods or supply for आपका जो भी जैसे पेंटिंग है, कुछ भी चीज है, क्या इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी है, मेज़ेनाइन फ्लोर बनाई है, फ्लोर को उठा करके तो कहीं लेके नहीं जा सकते, दैट इज अ फिक्चर, बट वी हैव टू कैपिटलाइज दैट ना. इतना तो वी कैन नॉट show so much of expense against our profit. So the profit कहाँ जाएगा, मतलब लाखों लाख रुपया. So we capitalize that, right? We take depreciation. In that case, you are capitalizing an expenditure made on a immovable property. So you cannot claim input on that. But ये सब जो मैंने अभी डाला है, chairs लिया हूँ, computers है, stabilizers है, projectors है, these are movable. I capitalize it, I will claim input. But I will not capitalize the GST amount. The value of supply I will capitalize. This was basically a very important thing. Personal consumption, as I told you, employee related expenses, uniform, ID cards, mobile phones, all these can be claimed. There's no problem in regard to that. ITC is eligible on canteen for food and beverage, categorically disallowed in section 17(5). But Factories Act or any law which mentions नहीं 100 से ज़्यादा worker है, canteen तो देंगे sir. So in that particular case, the expenses on the canteen facility, if it is mandated under any law in force currently, ITC is allowable. That's an exception. So reverse charge. 99% of exporters, they don't know the difference between these two. And they nevertheless make the payment of RCM. Extra cost. Later on when CAs they talk to and all that during statutory audit, बोले कि sir आप ये क्या किए? What is GTO versus GTA? What is GTA, sir? Goods Transport Agency, which does transportation of goods by road and issues consignment note (BILT). That is a GTA. Until 18 July 2022, there was RCM 5%. Now also there is RCM 5%, but now there is an option in the hand of GTA to charge FCM at the rate of 12% and claim input tax credit. Right? They have to file an annexure 5. Right? Now GTO, what is GTO? GTO does not issue consignment note (BILT). GTO is just transportation of service on road. That is exempt under notification. Notification 11/2017, that is exempt. So GTO से अगर कुछ भी माल अगर भिजवा रही है, कंसाइनमेंट नोट नहीं मिलता है, RCM नहीं पेमेंट करना है सर. GTA से कर रही है तब इंक्वायर करना है क्या आप एनेक्चर 5 फाइल किए हैं, आपका जो इनवॉइस है जो GTA का उसमें एनेक्चर 3 में मेंशन किया हुआ है क्या, फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर ईयर आई हैव अवेल्ड फॉरवर्ड चार्ज मैकेनिज्म पेमेंट, वेदर दैट इज देयर और नॉट. Import on, sir, हर तरीके का import of service, department will see import of service, हर तरीका का में RCM. No, we have to see the place of supply. Provisions is very important. Place of supply. If it is outside India, how is it import of service? Import of service, as per section 2 clause 11, three things. Service recipient in India, service provider outside India, place of supply in India, cannot be outside India. Place of supply rules, as per section 13. Place of supply of training. मैं बाहर जाकर के ट्रेन करता हूँ लेकिन बिल अपना कलकत्ता का इनवॉइस यहाँ पर बिजनेस में करता हूँ, लेकिन ट्रेन कर रहा हूँ बाहर में जाकर के. अरे जहाँ पर ट्रेन कर रहा हूँ प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई, तो बिकॉज आई एम फिजिकली डूइंग इट एट देयर, सो प्लेस ऑफ सप्लाई इज आउटसाइड इंडिया, इट्स नॉट एन इंपोर्ट ऑफ सर्विस, नो RCM. These cases, no RCM. Accommodation, food consumed outside, travel done outside India, services performed physically on goods outside India, no. Place of supply exclusively. Please refer to section 13 subsection 3 to section 13 subsection 13 of IGST Act to know the place of supply rules. कि सब हर केसेस में इंपोर्ट सर्विस नहीं होता है. डायरेक्टर का आपने ऑलरेडी डिस्कस कर ली है. डेवलपमेंट राइट्स, सिक्योरिटी सर्विसेज वी ऑलरेडी नो, बट वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम फर्स्ट this particular rule of RCM of security services. It came into effect from 1st of February 2019. Before that there was no such requirement. If has anyone faced this harassment, section 9 subsection 4 का July 1st से लेकर के 12th October तक का, all the unregistered supplies, means all the unregistered supplies से मैंने कुछ भी 5,000 रुपये से ज्यादा का मैंने एक दिन में पेमेंट किया है, वैसे अकाउंटेंट को पेमेंट किया है, मोल्ड फैब्रिकेटिंग चार्जेस को पेमेंट किया, उस GST नहीं अनरजिस्टर्ड है, बट इट इज मोर देन 5,000 फॉर ऑल दी सप्लाईज क्यूमुलेटिवली इन अ डे. So the GST department for 17-18 they are going to take all the ledgers of unregistered supplier, match it, see the date and see if it is more than 5,000 you have to pay RCM under section 9 subsection 4. लेकिन ये बंद हो गया. लेकिन please understand, this is the reason why I mentioned this point. You can still claim the credit. If today you have to make payment of the period from 1st July to 12th of October, now under section 74 अभी तक शोकॉज नोटिस इशू नहीं हुआ, बट अंडर ऑडिट इफ यू हैव टू मेक द पेमेंट यू कैन स्टिल इशू अ सेल्फ इनवॉइस अंडर सेक्शन 31 सबसेक्शन 3 क्लॉज F and you can still claim the input tax credit of this. GST deposits, we already know if it is a refundable deposits, so we don't have to pay GST on that. If it is adjusted against the taxable supply, then we have to. This is a subsidiary. See, this is also very important. This is the last point before we move to just 5 more minutes. I'll just show you the actual notices and all that. So let us understand this circular. Very important, sir. If you have a holding company or a related party outside India, and in India, if you have a subsidiary, आज बात समझिए, मेरा subsidiary यहाँ पर होल्डिंग कंपनी है मेरा इंग्लैंड में, कुछ तो काम करूंगा ना सर, उनका वहाँ पर बैक ऑफिस सर्विसेज समथिंग तो आई विल गिव. पैसा मेरे को वहां से इधर लेकर के आना, तो कुछ तो दिखाऊंगा. आई हैव गिवन सम सर्विस. Earlier they were saying that no, this service is not export of service. This service place of supply is in India and you have to pay GST. However, this circular comes to a rescue. What does it say? All 5 conditions have to be satisfied for an export of service. मेरा जो भी export, जो service provider is in India subsidiary, service receiver holding is outside India, I am receiving money in foreign exchange. 4th is what? Place of supply has to be outside India. And 5th is that, which is the amendment, that the subsidiary and holding, they are not merely establishments of distinct entity. Very important. It is not considered, even though they are holding subsidiary company, they are not merely establishment of the same establishment. So they are different entities considered for export of service. So now छोटा बात क्या है कि इंडिया में बैठ करके आप बैक ऑफिस सर्विस दिखा सकते हैं, and you can do export of service and show, and you don't have to pay tax under LUT. You can do that, and they can't raise a single thing because the circulars is very important for those people who have related entities, not only holding subsidiary, related entities, associate, joint venture. You can show back office service, and you can get money from there here in India. These are few summary possible notices. You can see these are reconciliations for all ASMT 10. That's how you will proceed. These are few things which you can read for how to reply to ASMT 10 practically online. See, this is the real ASMT 10 notice. Okay, here your particular, this has been issued by the state. Okay, that's why reference number is there. RFN, DIN is not there. DIN is from the central agency basically. Here they have asked to reply within 15-16 days. I seeked an adjournment for 30 days and I got it. This is ASMT 10 where they have shown in different categories is the amount payable, and payable within 30 days or respond. This is the annexure received from the department. Try to understand. Tax liability on outward supply. they will take the highest. In GSTR 1 you've shown 25 lakh 23. In GSTR 9 you've shown 25 lakh 23. In liability of outward supply 9C you've shown 2509. Total tax liability highest of the three. How much you have paid in GSTR 3B 2423? 80,000 you've short paid. So this is right, you have to pay 80,000 rupees, or kindly explain why is this the case. Same with RCM. Like this, RCM, whatever is available in 2A, whatever you have shown, claimed in 3B, whatever you have paid in 3B, whichever is the highest they will take against the payment in 3B, they are going to take that. In this particular case, you will see this particular client by mistake had not claimed the import of goods, the input in table 4A1. It had claimed by mistake in table 4A5, which is general. So you can see huge amount claimed there, but only available this much in 2A. But here you will see 26,58,000 it was showing in table 10 of GSTR 2A for the eligible IGST from import of goods, but only 1016 was claimed in 4A1 by mistake. In 4A5 he claimed 16 lakh rupees. So this can be amended in 99C. You were saying that we can't do anything in 9, we can do this in 9. They cannot challenge this, and I did this and the proceedings were dropped. This is my client case only. So this you can do, but input is a little challenging. This though you have made the payment, but you have shown in a different head basically. So this is very important. Let's just go through this. This is the last slide. Here whatever we have discussed is there on this slide. All the parameters. ITC uploaded by suppliers after the due date of 16/4. When? For 17/18, last date was 13th April 2019. Supplier has uploaded after that. It has not auto-populated my 8A, 2A, 2B. This amount pay. This is a mistake of a supplier. He has not filed GSTR 1 in time, the last date. What is the last date now? 30th November. So, if your GSTR 1 of the supplier is filed on the 1st of December, you will not get credit auto-populated in 2A, 2B, 8A of GSTR 9. Right? Second, ITC uploaded by suppliers whose registration has been cancelled retrospectively. We all were saying, sir, this is ridiculous. They are charging amount for this. ITC uploaded by supplier who have not filed GSTR 3B. We have just discussed. Rule 88C, DRC 01B, right? ITC uploaded Rule 37A, where the ITC uploaded by supplier who have not filed relevant 3B. Filing status no. 30th September तक नहीं है तो 30th November तक रिवर्स करना पड़ेगा अपने को. ये ITC found reversible in proportion to exempt supply. Sir, this. All the credit notes which are available in 2A, they are showing in this particular column. Why? Because at that point in time, there was no clarity whether we have to show the credit notes in table 4B2. We used to adjust it against table 4A5. How will the department know, sir? तो जितना अंधाधुन 2A में आता है सब यहाँ पर डाल देते हैं, उधर रिवर्स करना है. तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं, बुक से निकालते हैं डेबिट नोट का लेजर, 2A 3B workings we show. So we show that no, sir, we have reversed all the credit notes. Okay. So these are few things. Here you see 20 rupees के लिए issue की है. What? Delayed filing. Interest on 20 rupees. As I was saying. This is ASMT 11. Online if we reply only 183 characters limit. पूरा लिख ही नहीं सकते हैं. But you have to make annexures. You have to make a proper reply and attach it as an attachment. This is DRC 03 payment. This is ASMT 12 order dropping. In this regard, your reply has been satisfactory to the and no further action is required to be taken. So, sir, any questions you have for, we can take it up. Any questions which may come later also, you can, my contact is here. So, you can note down my contact and you can ask me. Any questions you have regarding amendment or any tax planning you want to do, any notice you have or anything like that, I'll be happy to help. Thank you so much for the patience.
Do we have any questions? Has given the presentation.
Already interactive.
Yes. Very detailed presentation made by you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Really appreciate
Don't
it.
explain.
Thank you, sir. Really
So we
appreciate it.
would like to present a small memento.
Before our question.
So,
Thank you.
small token of appreciation.
Thank you.
From So का मिठाई तो दे. You couldn't have.
No, ma'am,
Because it's so
my
fast.
appetite is My appetite is more than satisfied seeing everyone, they've understood.
Cold, so you can just have it.
have a situation like that, and the department has to pay this amount of IGST. We have paid the CGST, SGST, and
This is related to 1890.
18, what is the exact case in brief, if you can tell me, sir?
That we are paying RCM only SGST, CGST.
Uh-huh.
We are not paying any IGST. A department from 2A find it out that 15,000 rupees is as the IGST RCM. But we never paid it. But whatever CGST, SGST RCM was there, we have paid more than that, 10 times.
Sir, section 77 and section 19. Section 77, you can note these down. Section 77 of CGST Act 2017, section 19 of IGST Act 2017. There it is categorically mentioned that we can contest this case by saying that, sir, bhool se IGST mein payment karna tha, CGST, SGST mein ho gaya. Because you have already made payment 10 times, you are saying. So you have sufficient ground to cover the shortfall in IGST. You have made that in CGST, SGST, barabar hai, ye us time mein payment ho gaya tha, sir. We can definitely say that, sir, we are willing to make the payment of IGST right now. Today, I will make in DRC 03. Please allow me to file an application of refund
of excess amount.
of the excess amount which I have paid in CGST and SGST. If today I will make the payment of IGST, I will get 2 years from today, 2023, means 2025. What is the date, sir? Today? 21st. 20th of September 2025 is the time barring for filing of RFD 01 to get the refund of CGST and SGST under section 77 and section 19. There is also a circular which I had mentioned here. You can quote that circular also. That circular had come out on 24th of September 2021. In that circular it is mentioned, first benefit I have told you, second benefit, no interest. If they are charging interest, you will not pay any interest. No, sir, you will reply, you will just quote one line, section 77, section 19, kindly refer to section 77, section 19 of IGST, section 77 of CGST. In case of any supply which was earlier paid as CGST and SGST and subsequently held it to be IGST due to any of the reasons, I have made payment incorrect, or if the supplier had issued incorrect invoice, or if I recorded it incorrectly, 3-4 situations. In all situations, you can easily contest that, sir, this particular section says that I don't have to pay interest because I've already paid the tax, albeit in a different head. But interest, no. If there is no interest, no penalty. Additionally, you will get refund. But you have to commit to pay that particular amount today and you have to submit it. An RFD 01 can be claimed in excess tax paid category or any other category. I will confirm this, but 90% I think excess tax category you can claim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I hope, sir, all queries for now fulfilled.
आपका contact तो है sir.
Definitely, sir. Take down my contact.
Are you going to share this?
Yes, ma'am. I will share it. Share the presentation.
Yeah, that will be very helpful.
Very helpful, sir, because see, try to understand, you will go for any presentation. This is in the industry. I could have easily done 1/5 of the presentation, shown the content, and it would have been still fine for the industry because industry has lesser knowledge than the professional body. But I have tried to not hold back any information from you. I have put in all the case laws, put in all the grounds of defenses. For this, I charge lakhs and lakhs of rupees. Right? But I have given this in the interest of the industry so that all of us, as a profession, as industry, we can at least know basic knowledge. We can know where we can put our foot down and go and consult with our CA. But we will directly not make the payment. Like if today sir would have made the payment, he would have lost the interest amount, he would have made the payment and refund also. If he would not have known, that would have been time lapsed. So this presentation is important for departmental purpose as well as for updation. Because lots of changes have happened in the last 6 months. As you can see, these are few changes. Try to understand. I have tried to be so quick. The reason being that, ma'am, it is impossible to cover all the amendments. Details of all the amendments, scrutiny, GST audits, so all these are individual topics. And each topic can take 2 to 3 hours, etc. But I have tried to rush through. I hope that I was not too quick. Mostly.
Very useful and
very
useful. If you are share with us, please.
डेफिनेटली सर, मटेरियल तो मिल जाएगा, वो आप लोग का ही है, लेकिन समझ में आया ना, मैंने इतना जल्दी बोला तो समझ में आया ना, ऐसा नहीं किया. वो तो है ही सर, तो आप ही का है सर प्रॉपर्टी, मैडम का प्रॉपर्टी. ओके थैंक यू
आप लोग का पार्टिसिपेशन तो रजिस्टर्ड है,
हाँ,
सबको
हाँ,
भेज देंगे।
ओके मैडम, थैंक यू।
ईमेल आईडी भी है हमारे।
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू एवरीवन फॉर
Thank you.
थैंक यू
Mr. Tulsian.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू।
तुलसियान जी एक मीठा तो खा लो।
अरे
आजकल वैसे सब डायबिटीज से परेशान रहते हैं।
थैंक यू।
नहीं हो इसके लिए भी नहीं खाते हैं।
हाँ, वो प्रिवेंशन मोड में रहते हैं।
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर,
थैंक यू सर।
है ना, ये बहुत ही अच्छा प्रेजेंटेशन था फर्स्ट।
Really like the feedback. कुछ भी चीज होगा जो मैं काट ही नहीं।
या थैंक यू।
Thank you for the feedback, sir. Thank you.
यस
Yes, we are happy that you all are happy.
अब आज आप बोल दिए तो मैडम अगली बार भी कंसिडर करेगी मेरे को देखिए।
फर्स्ट टाइम मैं सही में बता रहा हूँ, ऐसा प्रेजेंटेशन मैंने
मैं सर एक बार आगे भी किए हुए हैं।
बट नहीं, मैं
मे भी आप नहीं आए थे उस
यस
वक्त।
30th of August 2022।
मैंने सबके लिए मैं बोला मैंने इतनी सारी चीजों को आपने इतना जल्द फिर भी करवाया, काफी फास्ट
सर बहुत सर, लेकिन मैं कुछ मिस आउट कर देता तो फिर वो एक तो इनकम्प्लीट रहता मतलब
ये मेरे ख्याल से इंडस्ट्री के जो प्रोफेशनल्स है इस जीएसटी में काम कर रहे हैं, वो सबको इस चीज से फेस कर रहे हैं।
डेफिनेटली
सर
They were all very alert. मैं देख रही थी। They were very alert, आप क्या बोल रहे हैं?
क्योंकि हमारे सीए हम जिससे कंसल्ट कर रहे हैं उनको पता नहीं होगा, हम
नहीं है, हो नहीं सकता।
चीजें बता दी, हम नोट डाउन तो कर नहीं सकते इतनी सारी चीजें।
सर इसमें प्रेजेंटेशन में मैंने सब थ्रेड वेड दिया है, कुछ भी और क्वेरी हो तो ऑब्वियसली यू कैन कॉन्टैक्ट मी एनी टाइम, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है सर। अपना नुकसान नहीं होना चाहिए, अपना इतना अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म है, मैडम लोग इतने कोऑपरेटिव है, आप लोग इधर आके टाइम देते हो तो मेरा एक जिम्मेवारी तो बनता ही है। बेस्ट ऑफ माई एबिलिटी आई विल पुट इन। अभी सर सितंबर का टाइम है, तभी भी आई ट्राई टू फाइंड टाइम। टैक्स ऑडिट आईटीआर का है। ओके थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू मैम, आई होप ठीक है सर। व्हाट इज योर फीडबैक सर? थैंक यू।
Covering amendments, scrutiny, then audit, then
all the
case studies.
solutions.
My God.
Directors
Endless.
property rent to the company. These things are normally people skip.